not put here to be a white man's footstool. You are put here to represent the very best in God's word.
Legendary civil rights icon, the Reverend Jesse Jackson in the studio. Reverend Jackson, how are you?
Mr. Sherwin, good morning on this chilly Milwaukee morning.
And I am pleased to have one of the founding members of the Black Panther Party, Chairman Bobby Seale. Mr. Chairman, how are you this morning?
Good morning. I'm doing just fine. Thank you.
From Mr. Eric Holder. Mr. Holder, so good to see you. How are you?
Well, I'm fine, man. How you been? It's been a long time. Haven't seen you for a while.
The Dr. Cornell West. Dr. West, how are you, sir?
My dear brother, you're so kind, you're so generous, though, man. But I salute you and the work that you were doing there. Doing a magnificent job there in Wisconsin.
Stream live on 1017thetruth.com. Call in with your questions or comments. 833-212-1017. Join us on social media at 1017 The Truth. It may not be what you expect to hear, but I will definitely give you what you need to know. Are you ready for the truth?
I want the truth! You can't handle the truth!
Now, live from the American Family Insurance Studio at the Avenue in the heart of downtown Milwaukee, here is Sherwin Hughes.
Good morning. Welcome to the program. Today is Wednesday, February 26, 2025. You know, we've had a series of conversations, some productive, some less than, about DEI and a lot of pushback and a lot of disagreement from minorities or people of color, in particular black people, because when we think DEI, we think the modern incarnation of affirmative action, right? That we have been given opportunities that we otherwise would not have had because of systemic and historic discrimination. So we understand that. And so when we get an opportunity, we may see it as, oh, the country is doing something, or the business world or the corporate world is doing something to right past wrongs. I don't know if they see it that way unless they are very much forward and intentional in saying that, unless it's in their policy, unless it's in the corporate handbook, like, no, we're going to be intentional to diversify our ranks. You're oftentimes not going to see that in any policy or any corporate handbook for any business or firm or corporation you may work for. Now, it can be something that can be embraced internally. Sometimes you'll have a much more progressive or forward-thinking CEO that may want a company, may want a corporate board or corporate governance that is more reflective of who the clients are, who the customers are. Depending upon what that business sells, they want to be in tune to the culture. And if you have a growing demographic of African-American consumers, it makes sense that you have more black people in your marketing department, in your sales department, in your creative endeavors, your creative department, et cetera, right? But it's not anything that they do to try and make up for past wrongs. There's very few corporations that say, you know what, we have a history of not hiring black people. Let's just hire a bunch of them under the guise of DEI. DEI was a fad, and you see the fad is starting to fade because now it is being erased, eliminated, overturned, etc. So there are companies that still embrace it, and there's companies that never did, even though they may have had a program or a DEI, like a consultant that they brought in to try and tell the company of how they can be much more open to diversity. But if it's not a part of the actual structure of that business, that company, that firm, if it's not an actual belief, almost like a religion, then DEI never existed. I'm also tired of hearing this thing because, the hurt dog yells. When we hear about DEI being cut, what's our first response? Because black folks are hurt by this. It's disrespectful to us because here we are thinking and we're making a little bit of progress, and then we see Donald Trump and his appointees removing anything that can be related to DEI out of the federal government. Anything, anywhere. In fact, within the first 72 hours, there were employees that were deemed to be diversity, equity, and inclusion hires who had to leave by the end of the day. They were locked out of their email. They were told not to return to work. And so some of us have to wonder, like, wow, is that what the rest of this country is going to be like? Because all America needs is a small excuse and a little bit of cover to revert back to the inertia of its racism. And now they have the courts as cover. And you might have seen some companies, businesses, corporations, and firms be more accommodating to people with disabilities, to people of color, specifically African Americans, because they didn't want to get sued. And now the courts, the Supreme Court in particular, It's so firmly conservative that I don't know if those companies have that same fear of being sued. And so you're actually starting to see their true colors. Bunch of companies just came out right away. Yeah, we're scrapping DEI. And so when we hear that as black folks, we see our economic opportunities dwindle because they're already lower than everybody else's. But our response is usually, well, white women benefited from DEI. I hear it all the time. African Americans who are upset and feel disrespected that DEI never really existed, or it didn't exist like solely and exclusively to help us. It never existed to right past wrongs. Let me be clear. If America wanted to right past wrongs, it would, because it knows how to do that. That was never the intent. And for us to think realistically now that DEI is going to hurt white women, then we don't quite understand the nation in which we live. Do you think that white women's unemployment rate is going to go up because DEI policies were ended? Do you think that white women are going to systematically be fired because DEI has ended? Here's what we may not quite conceptualize. I'm trying to be diplomatic in my explanation here. Yes, DEI existed, and yes, I'm sure some white women benefited from it, but they already benefited from being white. DEI was just another reason or another excuse why some unqualified, mediocre white women got promotions over black women. But those white women are not going to get fired. Black women will when companies end DEI. Black men will. Latinos and Latinas and Asians, they will get fired. White women are not. White women have an unemployment rate of 3%. Black women is double. And if you think that the ending of these DEI policies are going to cause white women's unemployment rate to skyrocket, then you clearly don't understand. And I'm not faulting you for not understanding, but we see white women that get like these opportunities in these positions, and we just think and we assume, oh, DEI exists and more white women are taking advantage of DEI. No, white women are getting opportunities that black people were supposed to get, right? They're getting opportunities through affirmative action, through DEI, through Title IX. Title IX is really the big one. That was the act that said you can no longer discriminate based on sex. And that was in the 60s. So white women were getting those opportunities before we were even having conversations about DEI. They were getting those opportunities right around when affirmative action came to fruition. So the ending of DEI is not going to harm white women, at least not in the way that we think they're going to be harmed. We see them get all sorts of opportunities and just, I guess, expect the opportunities that some white women get, whether it be college admissions or jobs or promotions because of DEI. Okay, take away DEI and watch over time. I'm not telling you to, necessarily just look at it today. Over time, see if the rate of employment of white women goes down. It won't. You know what's going to happen? With DEI being removed, their salaries are probably going to go up because now there will be fewer black women and Asian women and Latino women for white women to compete with. They're going to benefit from the ending of DEI. I'm talking about white women now. They will benefit probably more with DEI being scrubbed than when it was in place for a period of time really post George Floyd. So we got to stop saying, oh, well, when they end DEI, white women are going to suffer. No, the hell they're not, because they're white. If anything exists for a minority, maybe we look at it more broadly. If anything exists where a black person can get maybe a second look or considered, or if a company wants to have, employment statistics that are more reflective of not necessarily America, but more reflective of the markets in which this company operates, they might say, okay, well, let's hire a few more Asian people and let's look really, really hard and let's do like specific targeted outreach and go into the Asian community. Or if we want to hire more African Americans because the cities that this company, this business, this firm, this corporation operates in majority black metro areas, they may say, well, let's be a little bit more intentional and wanted to hire African Americans. So let's go to the black media and advertise in black newspapers and, run ads on social media sites where African Americans are much more in tune. They can be very intentional in doing that because they may want to, because that is a part of the culture of that business. And also, it's smart business because as time goes on, America, whether you like it or not, is going to become more diverse. So whoever your market is right now, whoever your clients are, whoever your customers are, as time goes on, they're going to get browner. And if you want to be ahead of that curve, you are better off hiring people that are reflective of the demographic that are likely going to be your future customers. Women are always going to have, let me be clear, white women are always going to have an advantage because if that company that says, you know what, we want to be much more intentional in making sure that our demographics here as a company reflects the city, the metro area, or the state in which we operate. Women are 51%. So women are already going to have an advantage, even if you take away Title IX, even if you take away affirmative action, even if you take away DEI policies, women are going to have an advantage because there's just more women than there are men. And being white is going to be another natural advantage that they're going to have. So you can scrub all the DEI policies that you want. And for us to say, well, white women, you're going to lose a bunch of jobs too. Do y'all think that white women are going to now start lobbying for the re-implementation of DEI policies? No, they've been quiet on it. If white women really thought that they would lose out because DEI is now a thing of the past, they would be the loudest voices in the room. They all would turn into Karens, but they know they're not going to lose a damn thing. It is only us. In fact, they're going to do better because there will be less of us for them to compete with. Now, here's the other thing. African-American women are some of the most educated individuals in the United States of America, and I think that they see the double-edged sword of discrimination. Being a woman has to suck. Sorry, ladies, I'm sure y'all like it, but it doesn't pay enough for me. Sorry. Right when you're born, y'all make less money. But then also being a black woman, there's two ways in which you can be discriminated against your gender and also because of your race. So it makes sense to overcompensate by having the dopest resume you can muster, by getting as much education as you possibly can, in hopes that someone, business, company, corporation, HR department can overlook the fact that you're a woman and maybe pay you more because you have these degrees and overlook the fact that you are black. Because if you overdo the education, that's why I think a lot of black women have the double master's degrees and higher levels of education than just about anybody else in the country. And so when you remove DEI, you remove feeling the burden of having to hire overeducated, overqualified African-American women so that mediocre, uneducated white women, I shouldn't say uneducated, less educated white women can now have more job opportunities. Boy, I sure hate to use this example, but I have to. I am concerned with the racial and cultural mismatch in our public education system, particularly in Milwaukee. I am not saying that the white women that teach black children in a lot of our public schools are unqualified academically. They probably have the necessary bachelor's degrees, teacher certifications, master's credits, master's degrees, or PhDs. I'm not saying that they're unqualified in that regard, because on paper, you can have all of the education, but here's where the real mismatch is, because America also backs me up in this next thing I'm about to say. You get a bunch of black teachers that are the best, you understand? All worthy of Teacher of the Year. All of them got master's degrees or higher. Black teachers now. And let's say there's a school district with a large high school. And it's a relatively diverse, metro area, right? And you have a black teacher, like a cohort of black teachers. Like there's something in the culture of this particular metro area where a lot of African Americans decide to go into teaching, okay? And you have a plethora of really well-educated African American teachers. There will never be a school with a majority white student body and majority white teachers. Majority black teachers, rather. You understand what I'm saying? So there'll never be a school where the student body population is 85% white, but the teachers, the administrators, the principals, and assistant principals are 85% black. It'll never happen. Even if those black teachers, paras, administrators, principals, assistant principals are well qualified educationally, they'll never do it because of the cultural mismatch. So what I'm saying is, here in Milwaukee, as an example, you can have a majority black and or brown student body, and you will have a majority white core of teachers, principals, assistant principals, paras, et cetera, et cetera. So even though those white teachers have all the education, they're still unqualified because they are blind and benign when it comes to black and brown culture. Does that make sense? You can be qualified on paper and disqualified culturally. Where black teachers can be qualified educationally and qualified culturally because black teachers can teach white kids. Black people in this country have been teaching and educating white folks. We still do it every single day. What the hell do you think Black Talk Radio is? It's literally what we do. We got to tell white folks about themselves all the time, and sometimes they hate it. So we automatically, because to live and exist in this society is to have to explain your humanity and your existence to white people. We had to explain to white America why George Floyd's death it seemed like an anomaly to them. It is what you tell your black sons about when they're 7 years old, right? We had to explain it to them. DEI is not going to hurt white women. They're going to benefit from it. And I just heard something yesterday where somebody was going on and white women are the best beneficiaries. If that is a covert way for the African-American community who will be harmed by the evaporation of DEI policies, if that's a covert way to get white women to be our allies by us saying, hey, white women, you're going to be impacted by the reduction of DEI policies, too. If y'all think that by us telling white women that they all of a sudden are going to start lobbying for DEI policies, then we don't still understand how race is so impactful in this country. White women are never going to be our allies. In fact, it's a benefit to them. So I just wish we would stop saying, white women are going to benefit from DEI. No, white women are going to benefit because they're white. And chances are they're working for their damn husbands or their uncles or their grandfathers anyway, Second break, come back. I'm still stuck on this Joy Reid thing because, everybody's mad now. Well, they were mad before. A lot of black people are mad, oh, no, MSNBC is firing not just Joy Reid, but a lot of other anchors and hosts of color. I know some article somewhere I was perusing where they showed all the brown faces of all the anchors at MSNBC that did appear to have a very diverse daily or weekday rather and weekend lineup when it came to anchors and hosts, and now they're reassigning them or they're reducing the hours that they're on. You still got Politics Nation with Al Sharpton, so there's that. He's not going anywhere. But then I come to find out a lot of the black folks that are very upset that Joy Reid got canceled. And MSNBC is racist because how dare you take a black woman off of MSNBC? There's 317 million households in this country. And this rating category called 2+, meaning television watchers in this nation that are age 2 and older, so 2 until life expectancy, right? It's 125 million people, okay? And so you base your ratings off of how many people of the 317 million households and the 125 million people that are age 2 to infinity are watching a particular show. Joy Reid had 59,000 viewers out of 125 million. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if you guys are skilled in math. I know I'm not very skilled in math. I mess up when I have to do a math problem on the air all the time. Her ratings were terrible. That's likely why she got canceled. And also, political themed shows lose viewership after an election, right? During the run-up to the 2024 election, we even lost viewers because think about who we were talking to. Jasmine Crockett and Kamala Harris and Joe Biden and Hakeem Jeffries. A bunch of y'all were flocking to the truth to get your political news. Well, guess what? The election came and went. We're not interviewing Kamala Harris no more. I bet if I call Kamala Harris's phone, it'd go right to voicemail. She's like, who is this calling me? Sherwin Hughes from The Truth. Voicemail. She ain't gonna talk to us. She doesn't need to anymore. The other thing I come to find out, and this is the kicker, I'm gonna take a break, come back, and we'll delve into this a little bit more. Black people don't even watch MSNBC. So, and we had this conversation yesterday. The Town called in. And I was talking about, Joy Reid getting canceled. Dude didn't even know until I told him. And then I was like, man, you clearly don't watch MSNBC or Joy Reid if you found out she was canceled from me, because if you were a viewer of her program, which, let me be clear, black people are not, then you would have known that she was canceled. But then black folks are like, I don't even watch cable news. I don't watch MSNBC. We get our news from social media. So when we get our news from sources other than black anchored and hosted shows, please do not scream racism or get upset when a black anchor or host lose their job, because we're not watching them. All right, I'm going to take a break and come back and just further explain stuff. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 FM. We'll be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 101.7 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
This is the Bloomberg Black Business Beat. Larry Fitzgerald wrapped his pro career in the NFL as one of the game's most prolific receivers. And even though he's done playing, he's not done taking advantage of his time on the field. In a conversation on Bloomberg's The Deal with Alex Rodriguez and Jason Kelly, Fitzgerald talked about how being an athlete has helped him make important business connections.
It'll be very difficult for a financial advisor on the fifth floor to go upstairs and talk to Jamie Dimon and have a conversation with him. It would be difficult, but you can do that in sports. You can go talk to Mark Lazary. You can go talk to Mark Cuban. Some of the most successful business people in the world. You have direct access to them, and so why you would not utilize those opportunities makes no sense to me.
Through his Larry Fitzgerald Enterprises, he invests and partners with companies in tech, sports, finance, and more. I'm Bloomberg's Justin Milliner on the Black Business Beat.
Lowe's knows that your deadlines don't change, even when your job does. But with Lowe's Buy Online, Pick Up in Store, we'll help you adjust on the fly. And when you absolutely can't leave the project, we can deliver to your job site as soon as same day. Lowe's knows pros. We help, you save. Valid on eligible in-stock orders and select zip codes placed by 2 p.m. for same-day delivery by 8 p.m. Subject to driver availability. Fees vary based on purchase. More terms apply. See Lowe's.com/same-day delivery for details.
What if your limited inventory had unlimited potential? What if your biggest risk was not taking one? What if you could make every move matter? Bank of America's business solutions can help bring your biggest what-ifs within reach. Find out how our digital tools, cutting-edge insights, and trusted expertise can work for your business. What would you like the power to do? Visit bankofamerica.com/banking for business to learn more. Bank of America is proud to be the official bank sponsor of FIFA World Cup 2026.
On Thursday night, the Milwaukee Panthers return home to host Horizon League Conference rival, the Oakland University Golden Grizzlies.
Eric steps through on a double team, scoop to score. 94 feet of EP offense. 6 seconds, McKee for three, hit it! It's a one-point game.
Scott Warris has the coverage Thursday starting at 6:30 p.m. on 101.7 The Truth and the Milwaukee Panthers Sports Network from Learfield. Tip-off happens at 7 o'clock.
Are record energy costs putting a squeeze on your fixed or limited incomes? With limited incomes not keeping up with the lingering effects of inflation, you might be one of tens of thousands of Wisconsin residents who are struggling to survive in the blistering heat of summer or the bitter cold of winter. While you haven't asked for it, the Keep Wisconsin Warm Cool Fund and your local energy assistance providers are here to help. No Wisconsin resident should ever have to face the challenge of living without heat or power or face homelessness. For a hand up, apply today and call 1-800-506-5596. That's 800-506-5596 or visit www.kwwf.org.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
I put down more hits than Mafioso Mick. And Lucky Luciano about to sing soprano. And I know the way you feel. And baby Bubba, we gon' keep it.
I think this is Snoop's most underrated album, Rick. And as a DJ, I'm sure you can probably relate to this. Snoop Dogg's The Dog Father, and there's a surprising number of clean songs on the album. I think it came out in about 97. It went overlooked, Rick, is what I'm saying to you, as from one DJ to another. Rediscover Snoop's Dog Father album.
We still talking about this DJ thing?
Yes.
You are not a DJ.
Why not? Why can't I be a DJ?
Because you're not a DJ. You're a talk show host. You're many other things.
Yes, a DJ is one of them.
But you're not a DJ. Name the 5 founding fathers of DJing.
Now, hold on, man. All right. You produce a talk radio show that's very political. You name the 5 founding fathers of America. See there? You don't need to know the 5 founding fathers to be
Name the 3 branches.
What do you mean, 3 branches of what? Government? Don't ask me an elementary question. I don't need to know the history of DJing. It's like I could be an artist and not even know the history of art. I can just be an art. You know what I mean? Like I can paint beautiful pictures and not know the history of it.
If you don't love the art and you don't appreciate it, then what's the point of being a DJ?
I love the art. I love music.
How you love the art, but you don't know who started it.
I started it. I'm the first of my kind. I'm the first talk show host / rapper / actor / DJ. Like I'm the first of my kind. I'm actually a pioneer. Why don't you salute me? Hey, Rick, look at me.
Trash.
Look at me. I'm the captain now. Can I get back to my show?
No, you can't. We got to get to the bottom of this.
We already did.
We didn't. Now you can get to your show.
All right, thank you. All right. 64% of Fox News viewers are employed. That's crazy that 36% of people that watch Fox News are unemployed. 58% of MSNBC's viewers are employed. 27% of MSNBC's viewers are in professional managerial work. 16% are in white-collar businesses. 14% are blue-collar workers. 30% are retired. That makes sense. So 27% of Fox News viewers are retired. 64% are currently working. And I just listed some of the fields in which they work, meaning Fox News viewers are they're actually younger than MSN. They're less retired than MSNBC viewers. 35% of Fox News viewers have a high school diploma or less. That number is 23% for MSNBC. So MSNBC viewer, the network in which Joy Reid was fired from, which I feel like I need to explain because black people weren't even watching MSNBC and then had the nerve to get angry and upset and call it racist that she got canned. Her ratings were really bad. You know the other thing that she would do? She would mock other either members of the media, or there's this way that she would mock Donald Trump and his acolytes. Look, and I totally get it, but when you're on a platform that big, you have to provide actual journalism. You can't just be like snarky and sarcastic because that makes you look petty. And here's the thing. Trump won, and a lot of us did everything that we could to make sure he didn't win, but guess what? He won. So making fun of him and calling him stupid only makes us look stupid. It defeats the point of being a good journalist. We need to know what he's doing, what it means, and we need someone very sophisticated to demystify what Donald Trump is doing, not just mocking him and calling him stupid. I mean, I guess there's a time and a place to call Donald Trump stupid when he makes yet another stupid decision, but then you got to demystify that stupid decision. Hey, this means your Social Security is going to get cut. This means you're going to lose Medicare. You're going to lose your Medicaid. This means that veterans are going to have tougher access to get to their health care, and Joy was not doing that. And I feel like I need to defend the network, and I'm not even here to defend MSNBC. I just know how the media game works, and if her viewership is 59,000 people, out of 125 million potential viewers, it's too hard to sell that show. If I'm advertising a product, I need more than 59,000 people for what I'm paying, okay, to advertise, because I don't know if y'all know this. Advertising ain't cheap. It is not cheap. And when you try and do it cheaply, you're not going to get a result. I've been doing this radio thing for, I don't know, a few days, weeks, months, years, whatever. And somebody will reach out to me. Somebody just reached out to me over the weekend. Hey, Sherwin, I want to advertise on your show. And I just roll my eyes and sigh. Because it's almost like, well, Sherwin, if I spend $19.48, how many commercials am I going to get? And will my profits double if I run 3 commercials on one of your shows? Can I just spend $35? And I basically tell them, no, don't, go somewhere else. Run a social media ad or start a Facebook page. In order for your business to gain traction through advertising, you need a campaign. Speaking of campaigns, you got an election on April 1st. Do you think that these candidates, if they only ran one commercial one time and sent you one piece of direct mail, that would be enough to fully communicate who they are, what they're about, their resumes, the position that they're running for, and what they're going to do when they get elected? Absolutely not. If you have a business and you're seeking media to promote your business and to tell people the story of your business so they can be interested and buy your products, you need a campaign that quite honestly is similar to a political one. You show somebody one ad for your company, your business on any show, right? A TV show or a radio show. 30 seconds later, people won't even remember what they saw. So when people say, oh, Sherwin, I want to advertise on this show. Oh, here we go. I have $9.48. How many commercials can I get and how much are my profits going to go up? Don't work that way. Joy Reid at her lowest, only having 59,000 viewers, is not worth it for an advertiser to pay $195,000 for an advertising package on a show that is rated that low. And she has a whole production staff, a whole team of people, her writers, her producers, her researchers, her journalists, all those folks got to get paid. And they're all probably making high 5 figures, low 6 figures. And so if her ratings are low, namely because black people are admitting that we're getting our news and information from social media and not cable news, then she was basically dead from the start. She got 5 good years. That's a good amount of time now to be on a major network as an African American that doesn't have a black viewership. If you do media, you have to have, and you're black. You're a black media person. You got to have all the black people, like all black viewership, or dwindling numbers of black viewers, but an increasing share of white, Asian, Latino, biracial, et cetera, et cetera. And that's how we sometimes get typecast, especially with white folks that own media companies. They think, because again, they don't have the same cultural sophistication as we do, because white people never have to have cultural sophistication. They don't. They think, oh, if I hire a bunch of black hosts, then all the black people are going to listen to the shows of my black hosts. No, that's not. We're not a monolith, and I get tired of saying that. Black people have different ideas and different preferences. Some of us don't watch news at all. More and more, I think more and more of us, even though we consume more media than anybody else, more and more of us are tuning out completely, or we'll tune out for long periods of time. So it's hard to justify keeping an African-American anchor or host when we have dwindling and inconsistent numbers of African-American viewers. So we have to appeal to a much broader audience. Quite honestly, depending upon the day of the week, I don't know who listens to my show. I couldn't tell you what my demographic profile is, but I'm also glad that I am not saddled with the burden of ratings, because I wouldn't even know. I guess I would just, what would I do? I get a lot of big name guests, I guess, like Hollywood people and famous people if I wanted to improve my ratings, but I'm not. I'm lucky at Good Karma Brands. I'm not burdened with, oh, Sherwin, you were only a 4 share this week. We got to get that up to a 6. I don't even know what that means. And I don't care. I got to tell people information. If you listen, fantastic. If you don't listen, what I'm going to do? Right? I try and work on my craft, make sure what I say is helpful, is useful, is educational, somewhat entertaining. And then it makes sense for you, and it helps you with your life. It helps you better interpret some of the things that you may see, especially from these political figures that often speak in jargon. I'll take a break, come back. We'll talk to Mike on the other side, see what Mike has going on today. You're listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 FM if you haven't done so already. Go to youtube.com or open up your YouTube app from your smartphone or other mobile device. Search 101.7 The Truth, hit subscribe, and you'll have access to all of our uploaded YouTube videos and our live streaming cameras. I'll be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 101.7 The Truth app, and 101.7thetruth.com.
I walk on the shoulders of giants who have come before me.
I am grateful for those who changed yesterday.
But I live in today.
And I pledge I will help shape tomorrow.
Milwaukee College Prep Scholars honor Black History Month not just during February, but each and every day they walk through the door, preparing for a better life for themselves and the world around them. Enroll your scholar at MilwaukeeCollegePrep.com.
Bucks fans, join us for our 414 All Nights, a celebration of our diverse fan base where we showcase fan stories and highlight their unique and impactful contributions to our community. Come for the amazing Bucks basketball action. Stay for the recognition of our amazing fan base at our 414 All Nights, where diversity is embraced and every fan is celebrated. Go to bucks.com/impact for dates and details.
Thank you, Truth Nation. Because of your unwavering and incredible support, we are proud to announce that we are officially sold out for our first annual Truth Community Awards. We are so excited to celebrate excellence, passion, and the power of community with you on Friday, February 28th at Potawatomi Casino and Hotel. This will be an evening filled with entertainment, heartfelt stories, and celebrating our city with the 101.7 The Truth team. Congratulations to the 10 award recipients we will honor that night. They are Dr. Tamika Johnson, Eric Shake James, Ebony Solly, Carvel Brooks, Chris Abele, Walter Stern, Latrice Harris, Melody Madden, Justin McCoy, and Minister Kevin Simmons. Thank you for all of your positive contributions to the city of Milwaukee and beyond. The Truth Community Awards is presented by Potawatomi Casino and Hotel. Visit paysbig.com. Sponsored by Community Advocates, where meeting basic needs inspires hope. And brought to you by the award-winning 101.7 The Truth, Milwaukee Black Talk.
Prostate cancer screening is a simple blood test. It's a simple blood test. Get it done. Your family history of prostate cancer increases the risk for all the men in your family. It's a simple blood test. Get it done. Prostate cancer is most treatable when it's detected early. It's a simple blood test. Get it done. Men, it's your life. That's why it's so important to talk to your doctor about getting tested. If you want info on how to take action, the Prostate Cancer Foundation is here to help. For more than 30 years, PCF, a leader in scientific breakthroughs, has funded cutting-edge research that speeds new treatments into clinics, helping patients live longer with fewer complications. Go to pcf.org to learn more about prostate cancer and how you can advocate for yourself. Remember, it's your life, and it's a simple blood test. Get it done.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 The Truth app, and 101.7thetruth.com.
Can find your way. Boy, smoke.
Our phone number is 833-212-1017, 833-212-1017. Let's talk to Mike here on 101.7 The Truth. How are you?
I'm good, man. How you doing this morning?
I'm doing well. What's on your mind, Mike?
I was just thinking about the Joy Reid situation. She was on cable TV for 5 years, right?
Correct.
So in that case, I'm quite sure she made a lot of money, right?
$3 million a year.
What's the big deal? How much?
$3 million a year. So this woman made $250,000 a month for a 1 hour show. Now there's more preparation than just an hour, but I mean that's not a bad living.
That's not a bad living. So let's hope she did what she was supposed to do with all that money and she'll be all right. So what's the big deal? She got fired. Everybody gets fired sooner or later. Nobody lasts forever.
I think some of us are particularly sensitive because we feel that, like, this era that we're in, like, everything is about race and Donald Trump is a racist, and then we hear about DEI being overturned. And whenever we can find examples of that to prove racism, we always elevate those examples. Joy Reid had a decent career as a host on a major television network for half a decade. She made $3 million a year. You know, so her getting fired, even though we're not even the ones that were watching her, we left it up to white folks to maintain Joy Reid being on MSNBC, which is crazy. So then when she gets fired, now we're over here saying it was racist. It's not. It's mad.
That's ironic? That's us. That's us all the time. We blame everybody else for our own problems. We don't take accountability for nothing. You know what I'm saying? Most of us, not all of us, most of us. No accountability. And that's all I have to say, brother.
All right, thank you, Mike.
I love your show, man.
Thank
you. Do what you do.
Appreciate you, Mike. I don't even know. Let me see. So I have my television app that I use. I watch a lot of YouTube. Anything related to, like, anything like special interests or my hobbies, there's a YouTube content creator for anything that I can think of, right? Anything I'm interested in. So I watch a lot of YouTube. I do watch a little bit of local broadcast news. Not much, though, because I hate it. Because local broadcast news, you guys know that when you watch like Channel 4, 6, 12, 58, and shout out to Derek Rose and other folks that are down for the cause, but like everything they say is written by somebody else. None of it is their original thought. None of it is their opinion. And you know what I hate? I hate when black anchors have to do a story on, like, a dog shelter in Waukesha where a whole bunch of white people are volunteering to read to dogs. I see our black anchors reading these stories that are of zero interest to black people, and it drives me nuts. And I know it's not the decision of the black host or the black anchor, but that's a beef that I have with television news, is because it's written by someone else, and who it's written by is not always reflective of the cultural sentiment of black people. So I can't stand it. And also, like, television people, they have this really weird cadence. I hate it. Today we're in Waukesha at the dog shelter where people are volunteering their spare time to read to dogs. Nobody talks like that. No one, you don't talk like that. Hello, mother, how are you? Just calling to check on you to make sure everything is okay. I don't know where they got this cadence from. Do they teach that in journalism school? It is the worst thing ever, and I can't unhear it. Even if I want to know what's going on locally, I get so distracted by that cadence that they use. Hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. Today we're talking about reckless driving in the city of Milwaukee. Mayor Cavalier Johnson has a word to say. Shut up! And they can't give their opinions on stuff. If they give their opinions, they get fired. Even the little white girl, Sam Kerfuffle, she was on CBS 58. She was the weather lady. She was a meteorologist. Let me not demean her and call her a weather lady. She was a meteorologist for CBS 58. She posted something on her personal Twitter about Elon Musk being a Nazi, and they fired her for that. Even though it was on her personal Twitter. That's another thing. So and she was white. But when you work for a media company, even sharing your personal thoughts and your opinions on your social media platforms can get you fired. So what I did after that, because I know I share all sorts of stuff on my social media, I blocked every, like, management level colleague that I have at Good Karma Brands, because ain't that some mess? I post my thoughts and feelings on my personal social media. Like, oh, Sherwin, we're going to have to fire you from hosting The Truth with Sherwin Hughes because you shared an opinion on your social media. So I would rather not give my colleagues access to my social media, and I hope none of them got offended. It ain't personal, it's business. And also, I don't really rock with my colleagues like that because I've learned that lesson. Y'all got to be careful with that. Your colleagues, your coworkers are not your friends, especially the white ones. because they have a member of their family that is looking for a job, and the member of their family, that a white person now, a member of their family is currently unemployed, okay? Every white person has a member of their family that's unemployed, but a black person has the job that their unemployed white family member is qualified to do. I need you to think about this now, because some of y'all think it's sweet. Think you can be buddy-buddy with some of your Caucasian colleagues. I mean, I'm cool with some of them. I'm not going out drinking with them. I know better than that because they're listening to everything you say. You got to keep this in mind, ladies and gentlemen. This is food for thought. If you do a social event with your work colleagues and you're drinking, you're having a good time, and y'all over here gossiping about work, HR is always in the room. I don't care how social the event is. It can be off-site. You could be at a bar. You could be at a restaurant. You could be, celebrating a colleague because they're leaving, or celebrating a colleague because they got a promotion. If you are at a work event, HR is always in the room, and there's someone always listening to what you say. And if you say something that could be offensive or demeaning, HR is going to know about it. And next thing you know, you're on the chopping block. You're going to get fired. And when that happens, now listen to me, black folks. You didn't get fired because your colleagues are necessarily racist. You got fired because you weren't careful. Now, are they probably looking to get rid of you because there's a white colleague of yours that has an unemployed family member or a friend that is qualified to do your job? Yeah, probably. But we got to take some responsibility, too. Over there thinking it's sweet with these employees. None of these employees even want you working at that company most of the time. So if you go out with them and hang out with them, because they'll let you think that it's sweet. Oh, come on, hang out with us. Now, double-edged sword there now. And I say it's double-edged because, man, white folks know how to happy hour better than anyone. They know how to party. They do. 5 o'clock, they over here doing shots of Honey Jack. Sherwin, get over here, buddy. Set him up, bartender. Come over here, Sherwin. Sit down, buddy. Come here. You big chocolate lug, you. Come here, get this shot of Honey Jack. Get bartender, and get Sherwin a Hennessy. A double on me. If a white person ordered me a double Hennessy, I'd be very offended. I would drink it, because I'm not rude, but I would be offended. I'm going to take a break, come back, and give you the racial demographics. I'm going to juxtapose Fox News with MSNBC. That's number one. Number two, I have Sling TV, so I got to pay extra to get cable news channels. And I don't even know any black people that even have cable anymore, let alone black people that have a television app where you have to pay extra to get cable news. So I'm not shocked that Joy Reid got canceled because we just don't engage with cable news like that. We get our news from the damn TikTok and the damn Instagrams and all the other unnecessary places. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 FM. We'll be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 101.7 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
As clutch of a player to ever play basketball.
It's game time on season 4 of Behind the Bucks on Bucks Plus.
This year I was like, I need to impose myself more on this team.
Explore Damian Lillard's journey to becoming a top 75 player in NBA history.
That's what really had me feeling like this is going to be great.
Behind the Bucks is presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and H&R benefits consultant. Find Bucks Plus on bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, and wherever you get podcasts.
American Family Insurance is a lot like Captain America. He protects the world.
It's just doing my job.
And we help protect your dreams with amazing auto and home coverage. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com. And see Marvel Studios' Captain America: Brave New World.
Suit up. We need to move.
In theaters February 14th. This film is not yet rated.
Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Ready to buy your first house, move into your forever home, or simply refinance? At Associated Bank, they've got you. With the right lending plan and guidance, you can achieve your dreams. Your financial goals are closer than you think, and Associated Bank is excited to help you reach them. Learn more at associatedbank.com/lending or ask a banker for details. Subject to credit approval, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Immerse yourself in a place where bold ideas are sought after, where all are encouraged to bring their personal flourish. Here, innovation is a way of life. In this city, the beat flows. Together, we're dancing to the rhythm, forward. Now, it's your turn to grab hold of that energy where you'll remember not just the meals, the celebrations, or the oncoming coast. What you'll remember is how we made you feel. Come experience Milwaukee, where fresh meets fearless every day.
This monumental moment in Black history is sponsored by Milwaukee College Prep, Educators Credit Union, the Froedtert and the Medical College of Wisconsin, and American Family Insurance.
Oliver Lewis made history May 17, 1875 by becoming the first winner of the inaugural Kentucky Derby. What's remarkable about Lewis' achievement is that he was one of many African-American jockeys, trainers, and owners who dominated the sport in his early years. In fact, 15 of the first 28 Kentucky Derby winners were ridden by black jockeys. Lewis' victory paved the way for other African-American jockeys. Despite facing racism and adversity, Lewis remained a talented and determined jockey. His legacy continues to inspire us today. Oliver Lewis' groundbreaking win at the Kentucky Derby will always be remembered as a testament to his skill, perseverance, and trailblazing spirit.
Listen to 1017 The Truth all month long as we celebrate Black History Month. You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Watch it, that's it's coming, and there'll be no more waiting.
Welcome back to the program. I'm just reading some of these YouTube comments. I gotta share some of these with y'all. But this is how I get distracted, though. I want to give you these demographics on the cable news networks. Fox News, the viewers are 74% white, 10% black, 9% Hispanic. MSNBC, almost identical. 70% white, 19. Well, we have a few more black, but not, it should be more. MSNBC is only 19% black viewership. 8% Hispanic for MSNBC, 9% Hispanic for Fox News, but it's an income and an education thing. So the higher someone's education level, the more likely they are to be an MSNBC news consumer. But middle class, upper middle class, and well-to-do are 70% of MSNBC's viewership. So that counts out a significant number of African Americans. And then if you subtract the number of us that just don't have cable, the number of us that have tuned news out altogether, and then the number of us who only get our news from Instagram, from TikTok, from YouTube, et cetera, you can see why Joy Reid was not long for this world. She had to have an audience and content that appealed to the largest demographic of people that were watching MSNBC, and that is essentially wealthy white people. Where was that comment? Somebody said I needed a qualified researcher. I am my qualified researcher, and to get someone to do research for me will be extremely expensive. And I wouldn't expect Good Karma Brands to invest that kind of money. And here's the other thing. Like, if I got somebody that researched my stories for me, because I had that before. When I first got started in radio, there was a person that sat right next to me that would feed me stories, and their stories sucked because they would only research stuff that they were interested in. Things that they didn't know about. Oh, hey, Sherwin, talk about this, because I personally, as a researcher, am unfamiliar with this topic. That's not how it goes. Somebody's individual preferences don't really matter, because I could be interested in a whole bunch of things as Sherwin Hughes, the individual, and I could talk about that stuff all day long. Y'all would think it was terrible because it's not of interest to a broader audience of people. But I also don't subscribe to the notion that if you want the largest audience possible, you have to really dumb down at the lowest common denominator. That's why, like, reality TV shows and, like, gossipy crap and the Real Housewives of, I don't know, Gary, Indiana, the Real Housewives of Louisville, Kentucky. I don't know what damn cities the Real Housewives be in. Just, like, petty cat fights and all this other crap. Like, that's where you get your biggest viewers. And I would rather not do media at all than have to use like that kind of imagery to get viewers. The other thing I'll say about Joy Reid is, so we as black folks felt some kind of way about her being canned, but weren't the ones watching her show. We left her ratings up to white folks. It's also like women who may complain about the WNBA and those women not being more prominently featured. They're not getting the endorsement deals that they should, at least compared to men. Maybe they're not getting the shoe deals. The WNBA is not very well watched nor attended. But then women blaming men why the WNBA is not more successful, right? So if we're upset, to compare it to, if we're upset that a black host loses their job and we didn't watch that black host, like we weren't a part of their ratings, that's the same as women getting mad that the WNBA is not commensurate with the National Basketball Association. So you can't outsource your support to somebody else. How many people were going back and getting cable or paying for television apps and paying money per month for these apps and for cable so they could actually and intentionally watch Joy Reid so that Joy Reid could get the ratings of black people? No one was doing that, y'all. No one would do that. Our support is tepid when it comes to things like that. Even if a bunch of black anchors and hosts said, hey, black people, I'm only available on XM Radio. Pay monthly to listen to me so that I can get ratings as a black host on XM Radio. Joy Reid is going to be fine because she'll probably be on YouTube within 6 weeks to 2 months, and her viewership will be higher on YouTube as a broadcaster than it ever was on MSNBC. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be back for hour 2.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Here at the new 1017 The Truth, we aim to be a staple in Milwaukee's black community. We are committed to partnering with local organizations and supporting black-owned businesses. We are proud to call Milwaukee our city and promise to be a positive reflection of our community. We look forward to celebrating black culture and excellence with you every day as we make history and continue to uplift the voices in our city. Join us for the journey at the new 1017 The Truth, founded by Gruber Law Offices, Milwaukee Black Talk.
Coming with straight truth.
Thank you for what you just said. I didn't even think of that last part you said of this. That's why you come to a globe head like you.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I do have a globe head. Look at that. Shining.
Okay, there you go.
I appreciate that.
No, but fair. Very neutral.
I try.
All right, then. I appreciate it.
All right. Appreciate you, Mike. Take care.
Listen to Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris every weekday from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. on 1017 The Truth and the Truth app. Truth Nation, let us talk our ish for a moment. There is no other station in the country where you get a front row seat to hear from some of the biggest names in politics, pop culture, and sports. People like Grammy Award winner John Legend.
Knowing that fight isn't over, knowing that we've got to stay motivated and stay inspired. Glory was the song that myself and Common wrote. Two brothers from the Midwest, from Chicago and from Springfield, Ohio.
Oscar Award winning actor Don Cheadle.
I know that we're the bright, shiny thing that sometimes gets the attention, but I would say don't listen to celebrities. You don't have to listen to us. Listen to yourself.
And President Donald Trump's son, Don Jr.
When did we have a strong economy? And I don't think anyone with a straight face can say right now. And the reality, when you look at it, it's not even voting for my father. Look at the team that's now surrounding him.
Tap into the award-winning and nationally recognized 1017 The Truth by downloading the Truth app and streaming us live at 1017 The Truth on YouTube. Milwaukee Black Talk.
When a parent sees their child smile, they see hope. Aleem hoped that his son Rajib would have an easier life than he had. You see, Rajib, just like his father, was born with a cleft. But as a fisherman in a small village in Indonesia, the cost of surgery was out of reach. Their lives were transformed thanks to Smile Train, which sponsors free, life-changing cleft surgeries and other essential treatments. Rajib's surgery marked Smile Train's 2 millionth, and incredibly, Aleem's was the 2 million and first. Now, their smiles are a symbol of hope for children with clefts all over the world. 540 babies are born with a cleft each day, but through Smile Train, millions of lives have been changed. To learn more and support the global cleft community, visit smiletrain.org/learn. Smile Train, changing the world one smile at a time.
Join the movement. Listen to The Tory Lowe Show on 101.7 FM, 1510 AM WGKB Waukesha, and W269DL Milwaukee, the locally owned Good Karma brand station. You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 101.7thetruth.com.
Welcome to Hour 2 of The Truth with Sherwin Hughes. I titled this show The Good Life. And on Twitter, because I share the link, the YouTube link of this show on Twitter and Snapchat and even on LinkedIn. And I was going to title it La Dolce Vita, which means the good life in Italian. I was reading this article. I kind of just want to recite the article verbatim because it's just so incredibly spot on. And it talks about the lives that we all have right now. And we see all the challenges, and of course we're always pointing out the isms, the sexisms, and the racisms, and the ageisms, and the ableisms. There's so many isms. And it makes us very miserable because we believe that everyone in this country is supposed to be treated perfectly. Like there's no challenges, there's no obstacles, no matter who you are, no matter what you are, your level of education, how much money you have, you're all just supposed to be treated so very, very well. And then they did this to the author who did this comparison to an individual who was the pinnacle of wealth and privilege at the time. The absolute top of the heap. And they compared this person who was like one of the most wealthiest, privileged people on planet Earth at the time. And they compared, this author did, compared that person's life to our lives now. Even the poor today, okay? The author is Charles C. Mann, and he pens this article called We Live Like Royalty and Don't Know It. And the example that he used was Thomas Jefferson, who owned Monticello, this gigantic estate, a beautiful house by today's standards, 5,000 acres, hundreds, if not thousands of slaves, and a library so big, because at the time it wasn't no TikTok when Thomas Jefferson was presidenting and slaving, you see. There was no Instagram. I know it's hard for some people to imagine a world where there was no social media, but a library, if you had a big library, like that is major success and status. If you had volumes and volumes of written text, books, okay? Thomas Jefferson's library was so big, that's basically where the Library of Congress idea came from his own personal library. He lived the world of incredible privilege. His home was so poorly heated that the ink would freeze and he couldn't write. He did not have clean water. So he spent most of his time and finding the best engineers possible on how to keep water available, because he was getting his water from a well, and the well would often run dry. And so he had all of these people, the smartest people at the time, because when you are of the privilege of Thomas Jefferson, you, of course, got the best engineers that were available in the late 1700s, early 1800s, and they couldn't even figure out how to make sure that water was available, and it always got contaminated. At that time, like 1 in 4 babies that were born just died. That is an unimaginable infant mortality rate right now. Yet this is a man who lived the ultimate privilege. Like right now, what we have as far as clean water, yeah, I know we got a lead lateral situation here in Milwaukee, but you put a damn filter on your water faucet and you're good. Our food here, for the most part, is safe. It's very, very rare that we have a foodborne illness that makes 1 million people die every single week. We have lives of privilege. Thomas Jefferson didn't have no damn telephone. And if he did have a telephone, who would he call? Nobody else had a telephone. There was no mass communication. There was no media. We have all of these things at our disposal. Just think of the information you have in your pocket. Ain't that wild? The poorest of the poor people in the United States of America probably have several pairs of Michael Jordan shoes and several smartphones. All of the information of all of human recorded history exists in your pocket, and you take it with you wherever you go. And if you want to use this device to contact anybody, to call anybody, you can. You don't even got to talk to them. You can send them a text message. You can send them a video. You can send them a link to my show. The technology that we have, even the people that are deep in the throes of poverty, we live like royalty now. Even the poor right now live like royalty compared to somebody like Thomas Jefferson, who 50-50 shot at whether he was going to live through the night. Water was contaminated. Nobody was testing the food for listeria and E. coli. I'm surprised more people back then didn't die. So the things that we have now that we completely take for granted weren't even fathomable several hundred years ago when people, we thought, lived these ultimate privileged lives. Their lives actually sucked. We live way better now. You know what the biggest complaint is right now? Honestly, that we're not all rich. That's it. That's the biggest thing that we have to complain about. Yeah, there's healthcare is too expensive, but again, if you were rich, you wouldn't care about healthcare. Oh, education is too expensive. Yeah, but if you were rich, you don't care about the cost of education. Black people will prioritize money. If we had the option to be wealthy or to rid the world of racism and to be middle class, we would let racism exist if we could be rich. Because every conversation that we have about reparations is always about us getting money and what the dollar amount is going to be. It's not about extinguishing racism. None of the conversations that we have about what we ultimately want as black people is about extinguishing racism. We just want a bunch of money. Because if you're rich enough, racism doesn't matter. If I'm rich enough, I can just hire a bunch of white people and make them work for me. If I'm rich enough, I can go into some small up north, redneck, Trump-loving, Bible-thumping, fish fry, supper club attending white town way up north, buy up all the property, buy up all the real estate, buy a Subway franchise, a McDonald's franchise, and a Burger King franchise. My black ass could redevelop this entire up north Donald Trump, redneck, no dentist, toothless, poor, Bible-thumping town, and I can make all of those people that live deep in the throes of poverty rent from me and work for me. And here's what's crazy. They can still be racist, but they're still paying me every single month for their rent, and I'm paying them low wages because I got a Burger King franchise, a McDonald's franchise, and a damn Taco Bell. And they have to work there because they need wages. Ain't that wild? And they can still be racist. We would rather just be rich. I think most of the complaints that we have is just nobody has enough money because we're complaining about inflation and the cost of everything. Everything is so expensive because we just want to be rich. And so our biggest oppression, now there's other things that go into it as well. So another one would be, we don't like police brutality. I find it so interesting that nobody's talking about a George Floyd justice and policing bill at all, ever, at all. It's done. We don't even care about it no more. We were real mad for a year, give or take. Probably not even that long. And then we just kind of dropped the ball. If we were so incredibly dedicated and so very concerned, I've been saying this forever. Black folks ain't really all that concerned about police brutality because I'm going to say something, y'all ain't going to like it. Because it might reveal something that we don't want revealed. And I've been accused of this. Sure, when you say stuff, on the air that, we don't want white folks to hear. I don't care who hears what I say because it's the truth. We have not continued the fight to end, quote unquote, police brutality against black people because it doesn't happen very often. It doesn't. But when it does happen, we have an absolute fit because we see it happening in a country of damn near 50 million black people. I guarantee you, a black person is going to get their ass kicked by a cop. There's 50 million of us. At some point, you're going to find an example. Somebody's going to have a camera. They're going to upload it to the internet. And all of a sudden, black folks go, oh, my God, the police are murdering us. I can't even leave the house. I'm going to die. I talked about this situation years ago. There was, I don't know which one it was. Maybe it was Philando Castile, where he had a concealed carry permit. I think the cops saw his gun, and Philando was like, no, I'm legal. And the cops shot him because black man saw a gun, whatever. And I talked about that on my radio show at the time, and all these black men were calling in just, oh, my God, the world is racist, and all the cops are racist, and every time we leave the house as a black man, we might not make it home, and all the cops are out to kill us. And I kept hearing this over and over and over again, and so I started asking my callers that day, because a lot of black men were very hurt by this. I think it was Philando Castile. We were really hurt by what we saw, because the body camera footage was made public really soon after the incident. And I asked these black men that were calling, said, oh, my God, Sherwin, the police are going to murder us. They're going to kill us. I said, brother, when was the last time you've been pulled over by the police? Well, I haven't. I'm like, wait, what? But I thought every time you leave the house, you're afraid of the police and the police are going to kill us. And I kept asking the question for everybody that called. Like, hey, brother, I hear you're very upset, because my calls were being screened. Oh, Sherwin, here's another caller upset about Philando Castile. Oh, Sherwin, they're going to kill us. And every time we leave the house, it's a black man, the police is going to murder us. I said, brother, when was the last time you've been pulled over by the police? He was like, oh, like 6 months ago. I was like, okay, tell us about it. He's like, yeah, I was speeding and a cop let me go. Huh. And then the piece de resistance, the ultimate call I got. I'll never forget this. Ricky might have been producing that show a long time ago. I was back in WNOV. Brother called in and said, oh, Sherwin, I'm upset about Philando Castile too. But I was like, okay, what's the but? He was like, I recently had a run-in with the police myself. But he was like, it was a white cop too. I was like, oh, wow, you might have a story where you were harmed by this white cop. You know what this brother told me? He said, I was drunk at 7 o'clock in the morning. I hit a school bus full of kids. The cop came, knew I was drunk because he could smell the liquor on my breath. He was like, the cop asked me if I was okay to drive home. And he let him go. And I was like, wait a second. So the calls that I took that morning of all these African-American men who were deathly afraid of the police, because whenever we see an incident of racial brutality, we're like, oh my God, we're next. The cops are going to kill us. If you live to be 50 years old and you've never been killed by the police, that's actually a pretty good statistic on your side that maybe you will never be killed by the police. But the number of black men that had no run-ins with the police, had never been pulled over, or had been speeding and got let go with a warning, or hit a school bus full of kids, because you know what it was? The cop was just like, I don't want to do the paperwork. But if a cop was dead set racist, that black man would not have been able to leave that scene. I don't even know how the cop justified it. I guess there was no damage done to the school bus and all the kids were okay. And the cop was just like, nothing to see here. Didn't even ask that man if he had insurance. Ain't that wild? So we're concerned about racism when it can impact our money. If we don't get a job, don't get an opportunity, if it prevents us from being the one thing that all Americans want to be. And I can tell because look how much we hate billionaires. We hate billionaires just because they're rich and we're not. I assure you that if some of y'all were billionaires, you would be worse than Elon Musk. Don't think that money makes you a nice person. I have known people in the span of my life. I've known people that have grown up poor and were poor and then get a job, get an opportunity, or something happens to them where they get this major financial windfall, right? They're still the same person. They're just more financed. And if they were a jerk when they were broke, they're going to be a jerk when they're rich, but a jerk with money. They're not even going to be more charitable. When people are broke and they get rich, they're even more stingy. And I know y'all know what I'm talking about. Like somebody that doesn't have anything, like if you're deep in the throes of poverty, those are sometimes the most generous people because, hell, they ain't got nothing. They know what it's like to not have anything. So if they get a little bit of something, they give it away. It's almost like poor people. exist in this everlasting state of grace where they're really generous and they'll help somebody out. If they got $5, they'll gladly give somebody $2.50 because at least we got $2.50 a piece instead of me having $5. You take that same person and when they only have $5, they would gladly give $2.50 away to somebody else, make that person a millionaire. All of a sudden they hate poor people. They want to move away from them. They remember what it was like to be homeless. You think that when they become a millionaire or a billionaire, they're building a whole bunch of houses? Hell no. It's the craziest thing ever. We just want to be rich, and we're mad at people that are. We're mad at the power that they have because we think to ourselves, well, if I had that amount of money, I would do this, that, and the other. Some of us would be a lot worse than Elon Musk. I might be worse than Elon Musk. If I was a billionaire and Donald Trump invited me to do stuff in his White House, y'all would be shocked at some of the things I would come up with. Now, I wouldn't intentionally hurt people, but I don't know. I'd be looking up some of y'all's private personal government records just because I could. The article is called "We Live Like Royalty and Don't Know It," and it's written by Charles Mann. We spend a lot of time reporting on what's broken here at thefreepress.com and our government and our politics and our culture, but sometimes it's worth appreciating what actually works and how it works. That's the idea behind this new series called How the System Works, and it's going to be published by the New Atlantis. Too many of us know next to nothing about the systems that undergird our lives, and yet we take all of these things for granted. That's complacent, argues Charles. Fail to appreciate and understand these systems and will fail to maintain and preserve them. That's spot on. We don't appreciate what the democracy is and how it works. And because we don't understand it, don't appreciate it, it is now up for grabs. He says at the rehearsal dinner that he went to, I began thinking about Thomas Jefferson's ink. This guy says, my wife and I were at a fancy destination wedding on a faraway island in the Pacific Northwest. Around us, he says, were musicians, catered food, a full open bar, and chandeliers, all set against a superb ocean sunset. Not for the first time, I was thinking, he says, about how amazing it is that relatively ordinary middle-class Americans could afford such events, on special occasions at least. He says, my wife and I were at a table full of smart, well-educated 20-somethings, friends of the bride and groom. The wedding, with all of its hope and aspiration, had put them in mind of their future. As young people should, they wanted to help make that future bright. There was so much to do. They wanted the hungry to be fed, the thirsty to have water, the poor to have light, and the sick to be well. But when I mentioned how remarkable it was that the 100-plus people could parachute into a remote, unfamiliar place and eat a gourmet meal untroubled by the fears of their health and comfort, they were surprised. The heroic systems required to bring all the elements of their dinner to these tables by sea were invisible to all of them. Despite their fine education, they knew very little about the mechanisms of today's food, water, energy, and public health systems. They wanted a better world, but they didn't know how this current world worked. I'm going to take a pause, come back, take a telephone call from the most well-traveled person I've ever met. I'm going to talk to them on the other side. I'm going to continue with this article. That we live lives right now of privileged royalty, but we're still discontent and upset because we're not all rich. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 FM. We'll be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 101.7 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
This is 101.7 The Truth's Kyle Wallace, and I am Milwaukee. I take great pride in being a 414 boy and representing the city that I love. The great memories I have of going to Northtown Cinema to see movies with family and friends, to going to Capitol Court to see the Black Santa Claus, this city has helped shape me into the man that I am today, and I pledge to utilize my voice as a way to advocate for you in our community. Join the home of Milwaukee's realest conversations where you can speak your truth. We are the award-winning 101.7 The Truth. Milwaukee Black Talk.
Here's 101.7 The Truth's Dr. Ken Harris for Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. You can accomplish quite a lot in 6 years. You can go from changing diapers to dropping your child off at school, College, you can get a bachelor's and a master's degree, and you can take up to 6 years to pay off your brand new Pella windows and doors at 0% interest. With Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, you get so much more than just stunning windows and doors. You get the Pella experience. Talk about quality control. Pella manufactures, sells, installs, and services every product. A 10-year labor warranty is always included, so your windows and your doors are secure for years to come. Their expert installers are available year-round and can install in as little as a day. So if anything ever goes wrong, Pella will handle it ASAP because you work with the same team from start to finish. So why wait? Get the Pella experience and this incredible deal. 0% interest for up to 6 years on brand new Pella windows and doors. Certain restrictions apply. Offer ends February 28th of 2025. Set your free in-home consultation today at PellaWI.com.
Life's better with American Family Insurance. Because whether it's a family road trip in your dream car or hosting a family reunion in your dream home, we help you feel protected so you can enjoy those dreams with peace of mind. Save up to 23% when you bundle home and auto. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
People often wonder, what's the credit union difference? Well, let me tell you what's different about Educators Credit Union. We're more than just a financial institution. We're a team of people who are actively invested in the next generation and in the communities where you live and work. We're in classrooms teaching financial literacy, in neighborhoods building homes and relationships, and in local communities lending a helping hand. We believe when communities thrive, we all thrive. Educators Credit Union, achieving more together, insured by NCUA.
Make history at the amazing 10th annual UNCF Mayor's Mass Ball on March 29th. Join Mayor Cavalier Johnson for an unforgettable evening that will transform lives. Every dollar raised helps promising local students achieve their college dreams through vital scholarships. This premier gala doesn't just celebrate our community, it builds future leaders. Be a part of Milwaukee's most meaningful social event of the year. Reserve your place now at uncf.org/MMB. That is uncf.org/MMB.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
It was mentioned that Al Sharpton is the only, is that what they said? The only African American with a TV show and a radio show? Al Sharpton is ineffective, though. Sorry to say that. And we got to be honest with him. He's not effective. There's people that are under the age of 50, don't care anything about Al Sharpton. He's not making an impact. Yes, he's a relic of the civil rights movement. Like, he's worth keeping around. Kind of like Jesse Jackson. But Jesse Jackson, even with his long and storied history and legacy of fighting for our rights, he's not put on a pedestal. Only after Jesse Jackson passes away will we really reflect on all of his contributions, and then we're going to, find money to try and build a statue of him in Washington, D.C. That's about it. Really, content and information and news delivery, it's not the black host on a radio show or Al Sharpton with his hour-long Saturday-only weekend show on MSNBC. It's all been decentralized to where individual people can become journalists. If your content is good, you start a YouTube channel, you will get more viewers than someone who is backed by a major network. And I think that's just the wave of the future. It's with Joy, it's easier to make $250,000 a month and have a team of people putting together your stories, and you read off a teleprompter. Because she read off a teleprompter too now. Now, sometimes she would go off script a little bit. She would ad-lib a little bit. But her stories and her content was made by somebody else. And if she decides to do YouTubes and some of that money that she made when she was broadcasting on MSNBC, she's going to have to now invest that into hiring some of those producers and people that can provide her content for her having a YouTube show. Plus, it's a whole different endeavor. I personally, not that I'm any kind of good example, have never relied on other people for my content, ever. Because I tried it, and it's never worked out for me. I don't like talk radio. I really don't. I like it even less now. And it's weird because people are like, oh, Sherwin, did you listen to so-and-so's talk radio show? I was like, hell no. Oh, Sherwin, I know you heard a so-and-so host or so-and-so's podcast. I was like, nope. I don't care for talk radio, and I think that's a good thing because I want to try and make talk radio for other people that also don't like talk radio. It's boring a lot of times. The hosts are scared. They're scared of, how somebody's going to interpret what they say. Scared money don't make money. If you sit in front of a microphone and you're scared of how somebody else you don't know and you'll never meet is going to interpret your words, then go be like a girls softball coach, because this endeavor is not for you. You will lose friends doing this work. You will lose family members because people think that they know you really, really well. This is the crazy thing about doing this endeavor for any of you who are interested in it. And I would encourage everybody to get a podcast. Get a podcast, start a YouTube channel, because there's stuff that's missing from the media universe that I bet some of you can provide better than the people that are doing it right now professionally. So I would encourage anybody to do it. And I wish you the best of luck, and I hope you're successful at it. Because there's people in your life that think they know you, right? You fit in a box for them. You're very predictable. They know your personality. They know your likes and your dislikes. They know what you do for fun. But then when you get on air or you have a platform and you start expressing like who you really are and how you really feel, those people that thought they knew you realize that they don't. You know what the response is? They're now mad at you because they thought they knew you. Come to find out, they only knew a version of you, or they only knew a version of you that makes them feel good. And here's what I say to that. Screw them. If you're going to lose people because you're sharing your authentic self, and if there's people that don't like you because of that, screw those people. Don't defer who you are for anybody. And some of y'all hearing that advice, it might be time to get divorced, ain't it? It might be time to X some family members out of your life. If they are getting in your way of you being your true and authentic self, screw those people. The other rule of thumb I live by is if I wouldn't take advice from you, I'm not going to take criticism from you anyway. If you are not where I want to be in life, I don't care what you have to say. Now, I'll entertain you, of course, but if you're critical of me, and if I wouldn't take your advice, then your criticism means even less. Let's talk to someone who's never critical. Hello, Bob. Bob, what the hell is going on over there?
If I wouldn't take your advice, then your criticism means even less. Let's talk to someone who's never critical. Hello, Bob.
Bob, if you don't turn your damn radio off, turn it off.
Oh, that's the radio. All right, that's the radio. I'm sorry. Listen, Sherwin, you're moving pretty fast today. You know?
No, you're just listening slow.
No, can you hear me? You can hear me pretty good, can't you, Sherwin?
You said that I'm moving fast, and my response to that was, no, Bob, you're just listening slow. Go on with your comments, man. Just go. Don't try to decipher what I said. Just talk about what you got to talk about now.
All right. Look, Sherwin, you know, I still am glad I grew up in the era that I grew up in because Al Sharpton and Jesse Jackson is out of it. But the only thing that makes me think about your era sometimes is in pretty women, big and small, lovely ladies. That's what makes me kind of wish I was in your era. However, what I wanted to say
Bob, did you say pretty women, big and small?
Yeah, there's some very lovely big women that have wonderful personalities and have wonderful, just because they may not be attractive does not mean they have not a nice heart, Sherwin. And I'm trying to get to what I was going to say about milk company that I delivered to.
Wait a minute. You went from big women to wanting to talk about a milk company? Bob, do you like big women because they're large and big women always take charge?
Not all of them. There's some that's the only way when I wish I was in your era a little bit. Sometimes, because of these lovely young ladies. I said, boy, if I was young again, All right. Now listen, the milk company. What I'm going to say about the milk company, it reminds me of, they do it differently now when you work to get rid of a guy. I came into work to pick up my check because my boss laid me off. And I said, what is this guy doing here that you hired? And you know, after me, what is he doing here when you laid me off? Because he steals 20 cases a week. You know. I said, wow. That's how cold it was back. I was 22. And then, so I left.
Wait, why did they fire him? Because he steals 20 cases?
Yeah, I just don't really want to tell on him, but I delivered to, he had more schools than anybody in Chicago. They probably do it at MPS and all the schools because the women, lunch women don't count their milk when
Hang on
it
a
comes
second,
in.
Bob. Wait. Just, you're not making any sense. This person, you got fired because the other person steals cases of milk? Or
That's what he told me to my face. And I didn't know what to do. I was just 22. I called the union. The union got me my job back. And then I got married during that time.
Bob, stop talking for a second. You have to make sense, otherwise we cannot keep doing this. So you got fired because the person that was stealing kept their job, and you got fired.
Oh, yeah, he hired him. And I came in to pick up my check, and I said, what is this guy doing here? I was hired before him. He steals 20 cases a week. This is the guy that owns the company and, you know, hires you and fires you. He's a older guy, but they were very brash then.
So, wait, Bob,
They're
you lost your job
now.
to a thief, or were you stealing 20 cases of milk? Who was stealing the milk, man? Who was stealing the milk?
I just told you, Sherwin. I hate to say it, but, you know, we had more schools than anybody in Chicago. South side, west side, east side, north side. So they probably doing it in NPS. Because lunchroom women do not necessarily count their milk cases when they come in. And they just take 4 or 5 cases, and that's it. And they don't, you know, I hate to tell them, but, you know, that's what
Bobby,
they do.
I mean, no offense, but he's probably dead. So I don't, this is at least 50 years ago.
He's dead, but I believe they still probably taking milk from many, you know, lunchrooms and many schools, but whatever. But he asked me, why didn't you call me to get married when you got married? I said,
Bob, hold on. What does any of this have to do? What does any of this have to do with anything that I've talked about today? Please make it relatable.
You were talking about how they get rid of people because they want to hire other people. And that's what connects how he got rid of me.
You lost you lost your job to someone that was stealing. I can't.
Oh, yeah.
And the boss said, Bob, you're done because this person is stealing 20 cases of milk and I'm going to keep them but fire you. So how many cases of milk were you stealing, Bob?
I didn't steal. That's why he was mad at me, because I didn't steal no milk. I wouldn't steal for him. That guy was getting free milk, man. You know? And I just wouldn't steal. So he laid me off and hired that guy. And I hate to tell him, but, you know, he's dead
so
now.
So the owner of the company wanted you to steal the milk?
Oh, yeah. The owner just hired.
I'm not the only one that was confused. Bob made it seem like the owner of the company, there was another person that was stealing the milk. I don't know why this man makes me violent. Bob, you're not allowed to show up to any more events, because if I see you show up to any of our events, I'm going to physically chase you out.
Okay.
Exactly, Bob. That's what I thought. Linda said, breathe, Sherwin. Every time Bob calls, just take 3 deep breaths. Woo-saw. That ain't going to help. What am I doing wrong? You know what I mean? Like, how? I'm going to stop coming here so damn early. Okay? Did you say that? Oh, the DJ twins are in full effect, ladies and gentlemen. Zach is now in the producer studio. You know, Zach and Ricky, they're all mad at me because I'm the hottest DJ pretty much in the country, but whatever.
I didn't even say anything. I'm back here
You
working.
saying something now?
I'm defending myself. Zach said it, not me.
So I don't know what it is about what I do that just people get the wrong understanding of it. So here's what I'm going to start doing. My mic gets hot, I think at like 9:02, right, roughly. It might be like 9:01 now. I'm going to start coming here at 8:58, and that's when I'm going to get here. Okay, I'm going to leave my house by 8:45, and I'm just going to get here and sit down in this host chair right before my show starts. And I ain't going to prepare nothing. I ain't going to read all these damn pages and all these articles. I'm not doing all of that because it don't matter. I don't know what you buzzing for. You get here at the same time, Ricky.
I do not.
We both going to get here at 9:01. Just going to walk in right off the street like, hey, everybody, I ain't got nothing to talk about, so y'all just make up some stories about people that steal milk. And he said the man is dead. He said, ooh, I don't want to tell on him. He's dead. Probably got shot for stealing milks. Dum-dum. You're listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 FM. If you haven't done so already, I would tell y'all to go to the YouTube, but what the hell for? Don't go to our YouTube channel. Don't witness me having a meltdown. I'm not even going to tell you how to get there. Y'all know how to Google? Google it. I ain't telling you how to get to my YouTube. Ha, ha, ha. How's that? How you like them apples? The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 101.7 The Truth app, and 101.7thetruth.com.
Thank you, Truth Nation. Because of your unwavering and incredible support, we are proud to announce that we are officially sold out for our first annual Truth Community Awards. We are so excited to celebrate excellence, passion, and the power of community with you on Friday, February 28th at Potawatomi Casino and Hotel. This will be an evening filled with entertainment, heartfelt stories, and celebrating our city with the 101.7 The Truth team. Congratulations to the 10 award recipients we will honor that night. They are Dr. Tamika Johnson, Eric Shake James, Ebony Solly, Carvel Brooks, Chris Abele, Walter Stern, Latrice Harris, Melody Madden, Justin McCoy, and Minister Kevin Simmons. Thank you for all of your positive contributions to the city of Milwaukee and beyond. The Truth Community Awards is presented by Potawatomi Casino and Hotel. Visit paysbig.com. Sponsored by Community Advocates, where meeting basic needs inspires hope. And brought to you by the award-winning 101.7 The Truth, Milwaukee Black Talk.
We asked parents who adopted teens to share their journey.
There are many times I thought, I can't do this. I mean, what parent isn't worried about? What am I not doing right? What am I not doing enough? And then I realized, wait, that's being a parent.
Don't worry about being perfect. I've had around 3 other mother figures in my life, but only one of them has taught me how a mother loves.
The greatest reward for me is he makes me better every day.
I would tell a family considering adopting a teenager that teenager, whoever it is, needs you, and they need what you have to offer.
Taylor's given me hope. He's our son, and that is what he will always be.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to learn more. A message brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
Immerse yourself in a place where bold ideas are sought after, where all are encouraged to bring their personal flourish. Here, innovation is a way of life. In this city, the beat flows. Together, we're dancing to the rhythm. Forward. Now, it's your turn to grab hold of that energy, where you'll remember not just the meals, the celebrations, or the uncommon coast. What you'll remember is how we made you feel. Come experience Milwaukee, where fresh meets fearless every day.
When you're high, you feel different. Pretty obvious, right? You think different, talk different, but if you feel different, you drive different. So if you're high, just don't drive. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Happy kids heal faster, and that's why Starlight is dedicated to improving the mental well-being of sick kids across the U.S. Learn how at starlight.org.
Serious truck crash? Call Gruber Law Offices today.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
I know you just didn't say that to me, Ricky. Ricky, look at me. Look at me. Look, I'm the captain now.
You're not the captain.
I'm the captain. Look at me. Look at my face.
I'm not looking you into your eyes.
I think we need to have a staff meeting after the show.
Let me look in your eyes, Sherwin.
Yes. Look at
into your deep brown eyes.
Yes.
Yeah.
You too, other DJ twin. Hey, don't cover your eyes. Don't
I'm
do that.
looking in your eyes and say hi, Sherwin.
I'm the captain now.
No, you ain't the captain.
Hello, Al. How are you?
Hey, you know, I was thinking about a couple things. You know, I had got cussed out yesterday because I told somebody you're not getting no tax break on selling pit bulls at Walmart. Because I guess I had talked about their daddy, you know, they so-called, you know, Republican daddy. But I think the problem here is a lot of people just want to be left alone. But for some reason, we keep being put in their personal bull sugar honey iced tea. You got your money, you got your tax break, live your life. But for some reason, I feel this party of people is bitter, and they got some mental baggage. So I'm going to be honest. It is nobody's fault that you smell like death under your left armpit and 100 autopsies under your right armpit. It is nobody's fault that you smell like 35 unseasoned pigs between your legs. But for some reason, no matter how many Tesla trucks race to that meth lab, black people gonna keep being put in a personal BS. You know, just live your life. I feel like this. If they have this much stuff going on as millionaires, trillionaires, and you can't live your life, how about you get a big container of raw honey, rub your body down, get you a 50-pound bag of bird seeds, pour it over you, and get you a 38 long, put the gun in your mouth and pull the trigger. Because that way you can take care of everything. The birds will eat you up and take you away. The crow will take away your bones, and people can continue to live in peace. Because these people right now feel like somebody is trying to take something from them. Don't nobody want nothing from y'all. Y'all don't nobody want nothing from y'all. Y'all already inbreeding to keep y'all power. And that's why some of y'all coming out all messed up. Do you remember from back in the day down somewhere, it was down, I don't know if it was Mississippi or Kentucky, they was inbreeding so bad that the kids came out with tails and hoofs and all that stuff and extra legs and they had killed them. You remember that?
No, Al. I do not remember when kids had hoofs and tails.
Yeah, it was real deep down in Mississippi. And then back in 1920, they was trying to experiment with humans, like taking their head from one head and putting it on another head. They real sick in the head. But my thing is, they keep involving people in a personal BS. You got your money, you got your tax breaks. Live your life. Stop bringing people into your nonsense. And I really think the real reason they mad because number one, they don't have no peace, and they finding people who's just living their life with peace. That's why we got all this chaos right now. You know, look at Elon Musk. He's saying all this stuff, but you making all your kids in a test tube. She's not squirting on that. You got another person up here talking about transgenders, but y'all getting bound down, going to Pound Town down in D.C. with the chicks with the big old sticks. And the sad part is that they're not even using basic common sense. Like, why would you want to be dumb just for the hell of it, or talk to be dumb? But what they need to do is take these issues they got up with society, take that up with your mammy, who probably used to get her ass beat because daddy was probably a cokehead or a drunk like they used to do back in the day with them 55 Mercuries, and he come home. Or take that up with them people who raise you to use the devil's dough and just keep it tight and use your mouth as a sanctuary so you can show you right for that man. But all this stuff they dealing with coming from their mammy and pappy. So redirect that attention to them, because some people just want to be left the hell alone. And there's no deodorant that can help you if you smell like death and an autopsy under your armpits. Have a great day.
Oh, thank you, Al. I'm going to have a great day after that. That was informative. How does he think of these things? Ha, ha, ha. How you like them apples? Oh, you must have just recorded that. That's funny. I didn't know where he was going with the honey and the birdseed. Like, that's creative thinking. Cover yourself with honey and then put birdseed all over your body and then kill yourself with a 38 long and then the birds will eat you. All right, I need to take a commercial break because I don't know. Tell you what. I think I'm going to start getting here just at 9 o'clock. Not going to spend time reading things and preparing. I'm not going to do all that. I'm just going to let you guys just call and let Bob talk about the dead man that used to steal milks. I'm going to let Al talk about chicks with sticks. And, you know, that time back in the South where they would cut people's heads off and put them on other people. So that's just what, maybe my ratings will go up. And maybe I can stave off cancellation if I have a new format to my show. Okay, how much time I got left in this program? 45 minutes. No, an hour. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 FM. We'll be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 101.7 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Truth Nation, it's your boy Tory Lowe, and I need to let you know the award-winning Tory Lowe Show can now be streamed live on YouTube. How? Every day from 1 to 4. I am now bringing all the smoke on YouTube every single weekday. I need you to go to YouTube right now and subscribe to 101.7 The Truth and check out the award-winning Tory Lowe Show live every afternoon. Milwaukee Black Talk is now streaming live on YouTube. Now that's powerful.
Heart disease won't stop us. Diabetes won't slow us down. Allergies, high blood pressure, shoulder pain, cancer. Nothing will keep us from pushing Wisconsin ahead. Because with the Freighter and the Medical College of Wisconsin Health Network, forward progress is what we stand for. That means always pushing and always innovating. With new technologies and breakthrough treatments that make life better, whether we're sick or well. It means providing more convenience and more ways to receive medical excellence for all your health needs, for big and small. It means being there for you, our family, caring for yours. So let's keep raising the bar. Let's keep testing the limits of what medicine can do. Let's push ahead and make life here as great as it can be. Visit Freighter.com to find out how.
Life's better with American Family Insurance. Because whether it's a family road trip in your dream car or hosting a family reunion in your dream home, we help you feel protected so you can enjoy those dreams with peace of mind. Save up to 23% when you bundle home and auto. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Ready to buy your first house, move into your forever home, or simply refinance? At Associated Bank, they've got you. With the right lending plan and guidance, you can achieve your dreams. Your financial goals are closer than you think, and Associated Bank is excited to help you reach them. Learn more at associatedbank.com/lending or ask a banker for details. Subject to credit approval, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Make history at the amazing 10th annual UNCF Mayor's Mass Ball on March 29th. Join Mayor Cavalier Johnson for an unforgettable evening that will transform lives. Every dollar raised helps promising local students achieve their college dreams through vital scholarships. This premier gala doesn't just celebrate our community, it builds future leaders. Be a part of Milwaukee's most meaningful social event of the year. Reserve your place now at uncf.org/MMB. That is uncf.org/MMB.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Welcome back to the program. Carrie was in here distracting me. Well, you want to? Then come sit down then. Exactly. Goodbye, Carrie. Shouldn't you be doing stuff? Oh, now she gonna close the door. Coming in here messing with me. Why everybody messing with me today? What did I do to y'all? All right, let me finish reading this story here. I don't know if we're only concerned about racism when we think it may impact us personally. We're not all in this big, huge crusade as black people to end racism. Even if we see something that we know is egregiously racist, we'll be really, really mad, like super mad and really, really loud for a short period of time, and then I think we tire ourselves out. Are you guys familiar with this philosophy of parenting where when your baby cries, you don't always go and comfort your baby? Like you got a little baby, like, I don't know, like 6 months or whatever, and they're in the crib and they're crying. There's like a school of thought in parenting where you just let them cry, and eventually they'll just tire themselves out, and they'll stop crying because they're realizing that their crying is not getting them attention, so they stop crying. Don't we do that too? Don't black folks get really mad, up in arms about something, a officer involved shooting or police brutality? Oh my God, do we have a fit? And we're just going at full speed, and we're yelling and marching and protesting, and we're always going to threaten to boycott, right? And then we just see that nothing happens and we just quit. I think that is, as far as taking personal responsibility for being activists for social change, I think that's our biggest liability, because white America and white society, they can coalesce around race. And they can do something to us, something egregious, and they know how we're going to respond. We're going to get really, really angry, really loud, and really boisterous for a period of time, and then we're all going to retreat to our neutral corners. White supremacy has conditioned us to where all they got to do is wait. They don't have to change anything because we'd never keep up sustained pressure. And here's the thing. I'm not blaming our community for this, because women have lost their right to reproductive health care, and they're going to continue to do so. I was just reading something this morning about how when Robert Kennedy Jr. gets really like acclimated into his role of Health and Human Services Secretary, he's going to make certain abortion drugs just unavailable or very, very difficult to get. Because women were up in arms. When was that, 2023? When the Supreme Court overturned Roe? Oh, man, women were mad as hell, marching and protesting and marching. And I think there was even a thing that I saw, because I think I was still on TikTok at the time, where women were like, we're not going to have sex with men until they reinstate our rights. That didn't last long. You can take something away from a marginalized group, and they're going to respond the same way. They're going to be outraged. They're going to clutch their pearls. They're going to organize a little bit. They're going to do some marching and some protesting. They're always going to threaten a boycott. And then after a while, when they see that nothing is going to happen, they tire themselves out and everything goes back to normal. You wouldn't even know, as a man, I mean, maybe women are consciously aware of this, but I wouldn't even know that Roe versus Wade got overturned. But in May or June of 2023, everybody knew, because everybody was talking about it. Everybody was upset. And oh my God, how could people do this? How can they take away a fundamental health care right? Kamala Harris, as a woman, ran for president. She made the overturning of Roe a central theme in her campaign. And guess what happened to her? She lost. Why did she lose? Because white women voted for Donald Trump. That's just wild. Do you know how history looks at these moments? Because when we're in it, we don't really see the impact and the value of the times, right? You almost have to stand back and have a 10,000-foot view. But when you're in this life and in this world and in this Trump 2.0 universe, we're just moving day to day and we're not really seeing the overall impact. History is going to look back and be like, what kind of crack and fentanyl was in the water where American women lost a fundamental health care right, basically a privacy right, and then didn't vote for the woman that would have reinstated that right for women, voted for the man that took the right away in the first place. I think, dude, did he gaslight all of us? That's a better term than that. Do we have Stockholm Syndrome? Maybe that's what it is. Especially black Trumpers. I think we've just become so used to abuse that if we're not being abused, the world just seems boring. If we're not enraged about something, it's just, we need drama. I think we always need something or someone to mess with us, to make us mad, to badger us. And like, that's what the new normal is. I can't explain it. And history is going to try and piece this together. And like, if those of us that may still be around, I don't know, some of us are going to be dead, because you've got the yet unborn, right? When they become 20, 25 years old, in the year 2050, 2075, they're going to be like, hey, senior citizen Gen Xer, because the Gen X people, we're going to be the boomers of the future. They're going to be like, how did you let the whole Trump thing happen once, let alone twice? And like, how do we even explain that? We're going to say, well, we didn't like it. We tweeted about it. And they're going to say, well, so how did Elon Musk is attending a cabinet meeting today? The future is going to be like, yeah, question. How did y'all let a South African national who was forged in the fire of racial apartheid in South Africa just work his way into the White House and then get Americans' private Social Security numbers and information, Medicare, Medicaid? And how did you guys just allow Elon Musk to just be the shadow president? And what are we going to say? Well, we bought Teslas. We didn't really want Elon Musk to do all that stuff. He just kind of did it. History's going to think we're weak. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 FM. We'll be right back for hour 3.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 101.7 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
On Thursday night, the Milwaukee Panthers return home to host Horizon League Conference rival, the Oakland University Golden Grizzlies.
Eric step through on a double team, scoop to score. 94 feet of EP offense. 6 seconds, McKee for 3. Hit it! It's a 1-point game.
Scott Warris has the coverage Thursday starting at 6:30 p.m. on 101.7 The Truth and the Milwaukee Panthers Sports Network from Learfield. Tip-off happens at 7 o'clock.
It's Dr. Ken Harris, and you can watch me now live on YouTube every weekday from 4 to 6 p.m., and you can watch the best radio show in Wisconsin by going to 101.7 The Truth on YouTube. Watch me explore the issues which are shaping our community while also having fun discussions, pop culture, current events, all kind of stuff going on right here on YouTube right now by subscribing to 101.7 The Truth. Milwaukee Black Talk is now streaming live on YouTube.
Thank you, Truth Nation. Because of your unwavering and incredible support, we are proud to announce that we are officially sold out for our first annual Truth Community Awards. We are so excited to celebrate excellence, passion, and the power of community with you on Friday, February 28th at Potawatomi Casino and Hotel. This will be an evening filled with entertainment, heartfelt stories, and celebrating our city with the 101.7 The Truth team. Congratulations to the 10 award recipients we will honor that night. They are Dr. Tamika Johnson, Eric Shake James, Ebony Solly, Carvel Brooks, Chris Abele, Walter Stern, Latrice Harris, Melody Madden, Justin McCoy, and Minister Kevin Simmons. Thank you for all of your positive contributions to the city of Milwaukee and beyond. The Truth Community Awards is presented by Potawatomi Casino and Hotel. Visit paysbig.com. Sponsored by Community Advocates, where meeting basic needs inspires hope. And brought to you by the award-winning 1017 The Truth, Milwaukee Black Talk.
Don't you wish your life came with a warning app?
Stop. That dog does not want to be petted.
Just a little heads up before something bad happens.
Move your coffee cup away from your computer. Oh, no.
So you can have more control.
Stop. You're texting your boss by mistake.
Uh-oh. Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. With early diagnosis and a few healthy changes like managing your weight, getting active, stopping smoking, and eating healthier, you can stop prediabetes before it leads to type 2 diabetes. It's easy to learn your risk. Take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org.
Warning. The cap is loose on that ketchup.
Ugh. Don't wait. You have the power to change the outcome. Visit doihaveprediabetes.org today. That's doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its Prediabetes Awareness Partners.
Listen to the man who tells you exactly how he sees it. The Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris every weekday from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. on 1017 FM, 1510 AM WGKB Waukesha and W269DL Milwaukee, a locally owned Good Karma brand station. You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Tether off, we gonna tether off the mother sucker. Tether off the sucker. Tether off, we gonna tether off the mother sucker. Tether off the sucker. Tether off, we gonna tether.
Welcome to Hour 3 of The Truth with Sherwin Hughes. Our phone number, if you want to call and or text and share your thoughts, is 833-212-1017, 833-212-1017. I do have a few text messages that I would like to read. Namely, this one from the caller. The caller says, Professor Hughes, Joy Reid being fired is an example of ratings being a non-factor. When you are a truth-telling black media personality, shouts out to folks like you who keep speaking truth to power, though. Joy Reid had horrible ratings, and ratings are a factor. We got to stop doing that, y'all. We got to stop thinking that Joy Reid lost her show because she was telling the truth about black people and blackness. No, Joy Reid had 59,000 viewers out of 125 million. Joy Reid got her show canceled because black people don't even watch MSNBC. And what I'm finding is that the majority of the black people that are angry that Joy Reid is off the air didn't watch her in the first place. Some of y'all found out from me. And her content was getting boring. You can't lose the election to Trump because she used to hammer on Trump. Okay, fair enough. But yeah, it was easy to hammer on Trump when he was running for re-election because that's just low-hanging fruit. But she continued to hammer on Trump even after he won. She didn't get back to the kind of journalism that I think all viewers and consumers of media need. What does this mean when Trump is doing this? What is the implication for my family? What is this going to do to the economy? Like, how do I move forward and navigate Trump 2.0? She wasn't doing any of that. She was just calling him a stupid idiot Nazi, which fair enough, you can. But if that's where your content is, people are going to tune out. Somebody else sent me something about, because there's a meme where they showed all of the anchors and hosts of color that have either been reassigned on MSNBC or they've been canceled altogether. So Simone Sanders is now, like, the programming lineup that they have replacing Joy Reid is actually very diverse. But I think one of the anchors that may have lost their primetime spot was, I can't think of what her name is, but she sucked. She was awful. And we got to stop thinking that, like, oh, great, MSNBC has an Asian anchor. Yay, but if they suck, you can't keep a minority on the air if they're not good, y'all. We got to stop, like, thinking like it's such a low vibrational level. Like, oh, yay, they've got minority talent on the air. But you have to be good and you have to be engaging. You can't just be a brown face on the air and we think that's accomplishment. You got to be good. And whoever, I can't remember what, Ann something, she sucked. She was awful. She didn't know what she was talking about. She would mess up on a teleprompter. She'd get lost and confused sometimes. Now, she got better, but she sucked. But the other thing is, she was an Asian lady. So few Asian people watch MSNBC. When they listed the demographics of people to watch MSNBC, Asian people weren't even listed. We need white people to watch and give ratings to black people and to Asian people and to Hispanic people, because we're not doing it. Younger generations of people of color don't even watch cable news. They don't watch it. And then when a black news host loses their job, because you guys know that preferences in media consumption are changing. Back in the day, you watch Walter Cronkite at 6 o'clock. We don't watch Walter Cronkite no more. We don't sit around and watch the local news no more. People get their news from their devices. So more and more anchors are going to lose their jobs. And we can't think that black folks are just going to be spared if nobody is watching us, and you can't sell those programs. Joy Reid was making $3 million a year. Then there's probably a contract involved that said, Joy, if your ratings fall below this, that means we're not going to be able to get advertisers to support your salary, your staff writer's salary, your producer's salary, your researcher's salary. And Joy was like, cool. But what happens is the money gets good to you. And she was coasting. And she probably was told, hey, Joy, your ratings are slipping. Joy didn't matter. Joy was still making $250,000 a month for a 1-hour show. Now, I know more goes into it than just the hour that she was on air, but she also had a whole staff that would help her and supplement her and give her information in real time, et cetera, et cetera. But they probably said, they don't just hire black folks in media and just like, hey, be black and be a voice for black people. They're like, no, we'll hire you because you're good, because you have a degree, because we think that you can carry a tune, meaning you can get through an hour of programming. But if your ratings fall, then we can't sell your show and we can't pay you. And all of us understand that. Joy understood it too. So when she gets canned, she knew it was coming, because they'll give you warnings. They'll be like, hey, you might want to switch up your content a little bit, your format a little bit, maybe go in a different direction because your ratings are slipping. And Joy, if your ratings fall below a certain level, we can't keep you. Few companies are going to keep a personality or a host at a loss. Why would they do that? It's a bad business decision. Would you keep an employee that costs you more money to have them than profit that you make? If you have an employee that's a liability, and we want to make it personal, like the media business is cold. It does not care about you. It does not. And when you're hot, but when you're not, you're nobody. So I don't want us to get all like overly sentimental and think this is some, big racial conspiracy. Like, I may not be long for this world if Good Karma Brands is like, Sherwin, your people aren't listening to your show sucks. See you later, Sherwin. We got to part ways. What I'm going to do? Now, I know some of you will be, they fired Sherwin because he was telling the truth about race. I tell the truth about race all the damn time. I ain't got nothing to do with it. Here's what's crazy. Even when black people have platforms and they eviscerate white racism, right? They talk about white people 6 ways from Sunday. White people are not threatened by that. Did you know that? Very rare. The only white people that get threatened by us speaking explicitly about race are racist rednecks. But white people with power know that black folks are not a real threat to them. They're not. In fact, they're much entertained by us. Let's talk to Brian. You're on 101.7 FM. How are you?
How you doing? Love your show. On the flip side of the Joy Reid thing, why is Jennifer Hudson still on the? Why does she still have a show? Could it be that maybe rituals matter?
Huh?
I'm gonna leave it at that.
She's on daytime broadcast television, right?
Jennifer Hudson's show is garbage. Should have been canceled.
Yeah, but Brian, is it possible that you may not be her target audience? You're not her demographic. It is daytime, primetime television, right? It's not supposed to appeal to everybody. Every media outlet is not going to appeal to everybody. You're a middle-aged or older man. probably
Right.
XYZ income. You're not even at home really to watch her show. So you saying, why is it on the air? Well, it's not for you.
No, it's not for anybody, to be honest with you. I know how the young people think now. I know how the middle-aged people think now. I know how the younger people think, period. And she must be on there for some other particular reason.
Brian, no, you don't.
She should have been canceled a long
You
time
don't.
ago.
I assure you, whatever young people or middle-aged people that you know, I promise you, they do not represent the masses of people in this nation. I assure you of that. What you're using is called a heuristic. You might know somebody that's 21, and you know everything about that 21-year-old, and you will apply that to every 21-year-old in the country. Patently false. But all right.
But her timing is off. If you sit down and study people that are on air,
When is she even on? When is her show on?
Every time I see it, it looks like it's a rerun or something. I don't make a point.
Right. So when are the reruns airing and on what network? You don't know, do you?
No, not at all.
That's why you think the show should be off the air, because you don't know when it is. And if you don't know when it is and what network it's on, you probably don't know who the demographic is and what she features on the show. So it's just not for you. And that's okay. Everything is not for you, Brian, including voting for Kamala Harris wasn't for you either.
Yes, she was. Kamala was definitely. Man, I look at Kamala like she's FloJo. I fell in love with Kamala Harris just like I fell in love with Florence Griffith Jordan. But I fell in love with her at the wrong time.
Brian, do you not remember? Well, we certainly have the recordings of it, of you talking mess about Kamala and about Democrats for an entire year? How do you
Democrats,
forget that?
yes. Policy, yes. But Kamala, when I heard her in Ben and Kerry's show, something came over me, man. That's a beautiful
So
woman.
you changed your whole political opinion about the vice president when you heard her talking to Ben and Kerry?
Absolutely. When they did that interview with her, something just came over me, man. I fell in love. Seriously. To be honest with you. I mean, her, man, she was that girl. Just like FloJo was that girl for me back in the 80s. But, yeah.
All right. Thanks, Brian.
Democrat policies were always trash, but for that moment, Kamala was everything to me. Peace.
All right, then, Brian. Democrat politics are always trash. I tell you what, come 2026, if we make it to 2026, and then in 2028, if we make it to 2028, I assure you Brian will not be saying the Democrat policies are trash. Right now, Republican policies are trash. I don't think that anyone is going to take a look at the first 2 years and hopefully the last 2 years of the Trump 2.0 regime and say, yeah, we want more of this. That is wild. Linda says, Sherwin, that's why black people should have our own. We always talking about we should have our own what, Linda? All right, how are we going to start it? Where are we going to get the money from? You want to tear a black community apart? Encourage them by saying, yeah, we need to have our own media and our own real estate companies and our own banks and our own hospitals. Yeah, you know what else we need? We need our own schools. We need our own police, right? Let's have that conversation. And then the next part of the conversation, who's going to pay for it? How much money you putting up? Huh? Money? I just think that we need our own because something America is racist, so black people need to start all of the businesses. Okay, cool. Where are you going to get your money from? I ain't even going to lie to you. If I wanted to start my own black media company where I would hire Zach and Rick, Liz Brown and Tori, Ben and Carrie, and Dr. Ken, if I wanted to hire all of them, first person I would go to is probably a white person to fund it. I ain't even lying to you. I'd probably go to a white bank. I could start a GoFundMe account, I guess. Hey, black people, do you want us to start our own independent black media network? And I'd say we have a goal of $1.7 million to start a black-only media network where we're unbought and unbossed by the white establishment. And I'll put up a GoFundMe account. We need $1.7 million. I'd raise $9.40. But we got to stop doing that because we'll get real fed up with something and be like, yeah, we need to have our own. And then when it's time for black folks to put their money up, we all run away. And the white establishment sees that. Because they're threatened by us potentially like walking away and starting our own until we start talking about money. Then all of a sudden, you know how people, when they broke, they start patting their pockets. They're like, oh, let me see how much I got. Oh, man, can we wait till next pay period? We hate giving each other money. We do. My old school folks are going to remember this. So I was in the let's start our own mode of thinking too. This was years and years and years ago. Because I kept hearing about like all the things that we didn't have and all the complaints that we had, you know, as black people. But I was really troubled by the fact that we had there was a period of time in like the early 2010s where we had really talented African Americans that were running for office, but they just could not raise money. They couldn't. We wouldn't give them money. We just don't give our candidates money. I don't know what it is about us. I give candidates money because I see how important it is and how vital it is for candidates to have a campaign where they can get their message out. So I give. And people hit me up all the time, and I do the best I can to give black candidates money because once they get elected, they can be great representation for us, but it's for everybody else as well, right? So I give money to candidates. And I thought it was a shame that we have these wonderful candidates that want to run for office, but they can't raise the money, right? And so I did this thing called the Milwaukee Millions. Y'all remember this? At the time, there were 250,000 African Americans in the city of Milwaukee. And I said, if we each gave $4, we'd put this into a fund where we'd have $1 million where we then could finance campaigns for qualified African Americans running for alderman, county board, county executive, county supervisor. And if we were able to amass that $1 million, this is every black person in Milwaukee contributing $4. Even if you didn't have $4, someone would contribute $4 on your behalf, right? And if we had that $1 million, I guarantee there would be other agencies, organizations, other political parties that would match that money for that fund. We maybe raised like 10 grand, but from like 7 people because we just didn't want to contribute $4 damn. The wildest thing I've ever seen. And here's the other crazy part. Because I talked about it extensively on the air. I had a website and everything, the Milwaukee Millions campaign, and I gave like multiple choices. If you're a contributor, you get to vote on, you know, some of it was emergency housing, some of it was, giving money to political candidates. We had a whole bunch of different categories. So if you contributed, you automatically could vote for where you wanted the millions of dollars to go. You know who contacted me without contributing a damn thing? Black churches. Sherwin, we were wondering if we could also be a part of the Milwaukee Millions campaign because our church needs new pews. The wildest thing I've ever seen. Giving money to churches was never a category. But it was probably 7 or 8 black churches that said, we would like to also be recipients of this money. I'm like, you grifters. And after that, I just quit. So, yeah, I've heard, as you can imagine, Sherwin, we need to start our own. We need to have our own this and our own that. And I agree. But when it comes to us putting up the money, and here's what's crazy. Everybody knows how much money we have. By the year 2030, black people will have $2 trillion worth of spending power. That's more money. Like if we were a nation, we'd be like in the top 10 biggest economies on planet Earth. Just black Americans, not even the black and African diaspora. Just black people in this country have $2 trillion that we spend on stuff. We are exceptionally wealthy in that regard. If you look at where black people in our inception in this country, we were property. We went from property to being a $2 trillion nation in 165 years. That's remarkable. But, we need to have our own, but we don't want to invest in it. You're listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 FM. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 101.7 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
As clutch of a player to ever play basketball.
It's game time on season 4 of Behind the Bucks on Bucks Plus.
This year I was like, I need to impose myself more on this team.
Explore Damian Lillard's journey to becoming a top 75 player in NBA history.
That's what really had me feeling like this is going to be great.
Behind the Bucks is presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and H&R benefits consultant. Find Bucks Plus on bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, and wherever you get podcasts.
Great impressions will exceed
Great Impressions Graphics and Printing. They've been proudly serving the community for over 26 years from their location at the corner of 54th and Burleigh in Milwaukee. Their dedication to quality and customer satisfaction has made them a trusted name in printing and design. Great Impressions offer a wide range of services, including banners, posters, yard signs, business cards, programs, and postcards. Plus, they specialize in custom apparel printing, perfect for family reunions, sports outings, business promotions, and more. For your next project, visit greatimpress.com. That's greatimpress.com. Great Impressions. They're here when you need them.
Great Impressions, perceptions, everything.
Ready to buy your first house, move into your forever home, or simply refinance? At Associated Bank, they've got you. With the right lending plan and guidance, you can achieve your dreams. Your financial goals are closer than you think, and Associated Bank is excited to help you reach them. Learn more at associatedbank.com/lending or ask a banker for details. Subject to credit approval, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Adrian was seriously injured when a careless driver merged into her lane.
Gruber was there for everything that I needed. Any questions that I had, Gruber was there. They made me feel like everything about my situation and my accident was very important to them, and that made me feel good. And I would definitely call Gruber again for that.
Serving Wisconsin for over 35 years, Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
They go above and beyond for their clients.
American Family Insurance is a lot like Captain America. He protects the world.
It's just doing my job.
And we help protect your dreams with amazing auto and home coverage. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com. And see Marvel Studios' Captain America: Brave New World.
Suit up. We need to move.
In theaters February 14th. This film is not yet rated.
Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
How are you able to do that so quickly? Like, do you have like a button to push or something? All right, never mind. Zach just blew my mind with something he just played. That was wild. So on Fox 6 News, they have this segment called Look Who's 6, where if your child or, relative of yours is turning 6 years old, you send in their picture and they'll show the child's picture and they'll talk a little bit about your child. It's called Look Who's 6. It's a play on the channel because it's Channel 6. Zach, what's the girl's name? Hannah? Jasmine? Vanna. Just play it. Just put it up to the microphone. This is the wildest thing I've ever... Why would they say that?
Havana in Milwaukee today. She loves gymnastics, her family, and she is still waiting for her dad to come visit her. All right, answer some calls. I'm focused on the Benz.
So the mama is the one that probably sent in her picture and like the little description. Why the mama would say that, oh, she's waiting for her dad to come visit her and answer some calls. That's horrible. Like that person that put that on the teleprompter for that anchor to read, they need to be fired. Like that's awful. All right. I was just reading some. Oh, here we go. Dion said, y'all are crazy. I read the caller's text message earlier. Professor Hughes, Joy Reid being fired is an example of ratings being a non-factor when you are truth-telling black media personality. Shouts out to folks like you who keep speaking truth to power. And so then I asked the caller, like, okay, how often did you watch Joy Reid? No answer. Dion, the non-voter, I guess we can't call him that anymore because apparently he voted. Dion said, if you think Joy Reid only had 59,000 viewers, I don't care what they say. Trump put the pressure on them. Remember, the FCC is in Project 2025. I don't think it had nothing to do with that. If that was the case, MSNBC would just totally end their network. Because she wasn't the only one. Joy Reid was the only one bashing Trump. All those hosts were bashing Trump. That's as left-leaning and liberal as a network as you can possibly get. But when you continue to bash the conservatives and the conservatives win elections, guess what? You're not effective at communicating, ladies and gentlemen. And that's what the Democrats got to learn. The Democrats have gotten so politically correct that they are alienating people from actual reality. And I asked Dion the same question. Dion, did you answer me yet? How often did you watch Joy Reid? She got canceled because black people didn't watch MSNBC. Can we stop blaming Trump and Project 2025 and just take a little bit of responsibility? It's just like women getting mad that the WNBA is not more prominent when women don't watch the WNBA. I recently had a woman ask me, Sherwin, where can I see the WNBA? I'm like, yo, I have no clue. How come you don't know? Because it's boring. What? Don't look at me like that. Now, I'm talking about the viewers, Zach. They looking at me crazy because I say the WNBA is boring. It is. I remember when I was in high school, in varsity basketball games back in the day, when we had Dale Hanford and Eric Joyner, Brown Deer High School varsity boys basketball games were the Sugar Honey Iced Tea. You know who would sometimes play before the boys varsity? The girls JV. The parents didn't even go. It's boring. 4 quarters of basketball, and the score would be 11-6. It'd be a football score. It's boring. And that's not me, like, being mean to women. WNBA is boring. Let's talk to Miss Shack. You're on 101.7 The Truth. How are you?
Good morning, Professor. Good morning, Good Comer Brand. And good morning to all the good black and white, wonderful, beautiful people of Milwaukee and America.
Hey, Sherwin.
Hey, Sherwin. That's where we would be able to balance this political, economic inequity in this country, is to have our own. And I was watching
our own what,
PBS
Linda?
last night. Huh?
Our own what?
Existence and what that looks like. Banks, schools, your libraries, whatever that looks like. For real. I am so serious. But
Linda, we have our own libraries, and we even have our own black-owned bank, and black people don't put their deposits in the bank, and black people don't go to the library.
And, that's it. We are not investing in our black-owned, and that's where we fall short. And a lot of it has to do with education and finances. We know that. But like I said, I was watching PBS last night, and they was doing a history on NAACP. OMG. What happened to that momentum? What happened to that consistency and that determination and that passion and that drive to and it was all sophisticated. It was all classy. I mean, man, it took me back, and I was like, what happened?
Linda, it's easy to galvanize large numbers of people when black people can't get a job, can't vote, and can't buy or rent houses. And so once we get those things, the motivation for such an organization begins to fade because we are now ingrained in American lifestyle. When we were kept out, it's really easy to get a bunch of people to march and to protest for open housing. It's really easy to get a bunch of people to march and protest so that black people can register and actually vote. And once we get open housing, and once we're getting the jobs and making money, and now once we are voting and electing our own officials, an organization like the NAACP, if they don't move into the next phase of more covert racism, then the organization is going to die. That's exactly what happened to it. It could not stay relevant. It was almost operating like black folks had nothing, could get nothing, had no opportunity. Once we started going to college and getting degrees and starting our own businesses, the NAACP was like, okay, cool. We made some progress, but racism is now going to become more sophisticated. We as an organization need to be more sophisticated too. Here locally, a bunch of young people were in our 20s, but when we're just getting politically active, they had an NAACP convention. The national convention was in Milwaukee. There was a bunch of young folks, we were in our 20s at the time, and we wanted to be a part of the local chapter of the NAACP because we saw and understood racism here in Milwaukee, and we thought we would be good representatives of the next generation of people for the NAACP. They conspired to make it so that us in our 20s could not have leadership positions in the NAACP. That's how cliquish it was.
Wow.
So they kept us out. And I walked away from that organization 18 years ago and never looked back.
And you just identified why it lost its momentum, because it became a cult. Point blank, period. And that's what kills our efforts, our passion, and our rise, because we have black people in positions that, instead of being, loyal to the cause, they've let their humanity in, and humanity is imperfect.
What's the cause? If I had to ask you what the
Huh?
cause, what's the cause, Linda, in 2025, on February 26, 2025, what's the cause?
The advancement of colored people. Come on now. And even though we are advancing, okay. I hear crickets from NAACP at this moment in this time during all of this chaos. I do not hear them. I don't see them. I see more Jasmine Crockett than I do NAA.
Yeah, but the NAACP made it so that Jasmine Crockett can exist. But so, what should the NAACP be doing right now? Like, what should they be saying and doing and promoting themselves so that you would become a member, and so you would encourage everybody you know to become a member?
More of what they started out doing, more of what they were doing in the 60s.
Those were basic rights that it was.
It the 50s
I mean, right now, no,
50s,
right now, Linda, not the 50s. In 2025, when you have black people that have been president, that have served in presidential administrations, that are members of Congress, that have degrees and have businesses and have millions and billions of dollars, where does the NAACP position itself in an era of unprecedented black success?
Yes, and that's great. But I'm saying the momentum should not die. We should continue to produce all of that. I'm just saying the momentum should not die, and they should still be there, just like the cause for.
But Linda, they have to exist
Brown.
for like a specific cause. The only thing the NAACP could and should be doing right now is organizing around poverty. But you can't just organize around black poverty. You got to organize around everybody's poverty. And when black organizations look at poverty as an issue, that is where they actually end. Dr. King was assassinated because he was starting to see poor white people and poor black people were being hurt by the same oppressor. Once you start uniting poor people, that's when your movement ends. So the NAACP would have to be almost more global in its outreach and in its efforts to look at poverty, because that is the issue that is still plaguing us and everybody else, and it wouldn't do that.
And I understand that, but I think that when NAACP starts to embrace all, races, then it diverts from its original, identity. It should only fight for black causes, and I think education is one that they should be spearheading right now, especially in Milwaukee.
What is stopping actual Milwaukee residents and taxpayers from being involved in improving education? Why do we need an organization technically centered in Washington, D.C. to come here and tell us that we need to fight for education? All of us are empowered to fight for education. A lot of us are educated, quite honestly.
We supposedly have chapters in all states, I assume. I thought I saw one a few years ago on, what is that? I don't know, Atkinson.
They probably are everywhere.
Now occurred.
But the fact is you don't know that one exists or is active in Milwaukee is also part of the problem. And I'm not coming down to NAACP, but Linda, they started as an anti-lynching organization. So when the lynching stopped, they had to pivot. Okay, let's focus on other black rights like voting and housing. And then we were able to vote. And then we were able to have open housing. They just didn't continue to pivot. They quit, essentially. But it's harder to organize when black people make progress.
And we still have those issues when it comes to black issues, housing, poverty, discrimination, and it just seems like the organization that we needed back then and we need now and we will continue to need until racism is eradicated, which I believe black people will do. I believe black people will eradicate racism at its core. Yes, I do.
Prior to, let's say, 1967, the Milwaukee Common Council was all men and all white. So this is in your lifetime, Linda, 1967, right? Right now, the Milwaukee Common Council just had their Black History program. The majority of the Milwaukee Common Council is black people. If that's not progress, that's a short period of time. That's in your lifetime, Linda. We went from all white and all male to like 60% female and 65% black on the Common Council. Like, what can the NAACP make more progress in that regard? Like, we never even thought that was possible. We don't even have 50% black people in the city of Milwaukee. We got more black Common Council members than we actually have population, which is crazy.
We can have more advancement of black people rather than just, putting them in those positions. We can continue to put them in further positions. We need a line of black people lining up for Common Council. We need a line of skilled, qualified people lining up for governor, lining up for mayor. This is what I'm saying. I don't want just one or two.
Okay.
We got a black there, or we did black there. We got educational.
Let's say we had
educational disparities.
Okay, fair enough. Let's take one thing at a time. Let's say we got all of those lines of black people. Let's even throw in the state assembly, the state senate, the Common Council. They would need campaign contributions, and they would come to their community to help finance their campaigns, and we would give them zero. So what's going to happen is we're going to complain about all this we don't have, and we need more black people to run for office, and they will run for office, but we won't support them. That's why a lot of this stuff falls flat. We got to leave it there, Linda. Like, y'all got to, we need this, and we need that, and we need more. Okay. And then when we get people that are, hey, I want to step up and I want to run for office. Hey, can I get a campaign donation? We start patting our pockets. I think part of the problem is we as black people have a tremendous amount of opportunity and we don't take it. Or we want somebody else to come in and organize for us. I don't need the NAACP telling me or my community anything. We know what we need, and here's what's crazy. We also know how to get it, but for some reason we don't, or we're distracted by other things, or we'll make a decision. Let's all work together on this issue, and a few of us will come together. And if the issue is not resolved in 72 hours, everybody quits, or they'll find another issue. Hey, let's work on this, and the issue doesn't get resolved in a week, and everybody quits. If we had people that would dedicate their lives to specific causes, we would be much further along. We don't stick to anything. Everything is just, I tried it. It didn't work out. Even with our relationships. That person I was dating them, they made me mad once. I'll never want to speak to him again. We lack commitment. But you lack commitment when you have almost unlimited choices. Most black people, if you follow a couple of really basic rules, can be damn near as successful as they want to be. Or if you're not as successful as you want to be, start your own business. Hire your own people. Get your own financing. All of that stuff is legal and legitimate to do, but we don't. We'd rather outsource all that stuff. It's like we had Joy Reid on MSNBC, didn't watch her, didn't contribute to her ratings. She gets canned, and then we get mad that she is no longer there. But then when I ask people, did you watch her? Well, of course I didn't. I didn't have cable. Why would I watch Joy Reid? But then why are you mad that she got canceled? Well, because the white people are supposed to keep her on the air as she speaks truth to power. Oh, you guys. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 FM. We'll be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
The Milwaukee City Conference Basketball Tournament has arrived, and we are bringing you all the live hoops action right here on the award-winning 101.7 The Truth. Tune in Saturday as we will have the Boys White Division Championship game. Tip-off is set for 11:30 a.m. on 101.7 The Truth and the Truth app. City Conference Basketball is sponsored by Milwaukee Public Schools, MPS Proud, and presented by Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Make history at the amazing 10th annual UNCF Mayor's Mass Ball on March 29th. Join Mayor Cavalier Johnson for an unforgettable evening that will transform lives. Every dollar raised helps promising local students achieve their college dreams through vital scholarships. This premier gala doesn't just celebrate our community, it builds future leaders. Be a part of Milwaukee's most meaningful social event of the year. Reserve your place now at uncf.org/MMB. That is uncf.org/MMB.
Thank you, Truth Nation. Because of your unwavering and incredible support, we are proud to announce that we are officially sold out for our first annual Truth Community Awards. We are so excited to celebrate excellence, passion, and the power of community with you on Friday, February 28th at Potawatomi Casino and Hotel. This will be an evening filled with entertainment, heartfelt stories, and celebrating our city with the 1017 The Truth team. Congratulations to the 10 award recipients we will honor that night. They are Dr. Tamika Johnson, Eric Shake James, Ebony Solly, Carvel Brooks, Chris Abele, Walter Stern, Latrice Harris, Melody Madden, Justin McCoy, and Minister Kevin Simmons. Thank you for all of your positive contributions to the city of Milwaukee and beyond. The Truth Community Awards is presented by Potawatomi Casino and Hotel. Visit paysbig.com. Sponsored by Community Advocates, where meeting basic needs inspires hope. And brought to you by the award-winning 1017 The Truth, Milwaukee Black Talk.
The more you listen to your kids, the closer you'll be. So we asked kids, what do you want your parents to hear?
I feel sometimes that I'm not listened to. I would just want you to listen to me more often and evaluate situations with me and lead me towards success.
We're not adults, so just be there and listen. I just want someone to yap to. And I just feel like I'll be fine if someone just hears me talk and talk and talk and talk and talk and talk and talk.
You're doing a really good job. And I don't think I tell you that enough. And I know sometimes we get into it and it's just hard on both of us. But, try to understand me more and I'll try to do the same.
Listening is a form of love. Find resources to help you support your kids and their emotional well-being at sounditouttogether.org. That's sounditouttogether.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and Pivotal.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
833-212-1017 is our telephone number, 833-212-1017. JD, I think you bring up an interesting point. Look, we know the NAACP meets and they've got committees and they've got accomplished people, but if we don't know where they are and who they are and when they meet and what they're doing, in the years that I have been on air, I think the NAACP has asked to join me on air maybe twice in 17 years. Hey, Sherwin, this is when we meet. Here's some of the stuff that we're working on. We really would encourage people to get involved with the NAACP. We've got these projects going on. And when they came on air with me, people were really interested. But also, if the organization has not found a way to transcend to a younger generation, does the NAACP have a YouTube channel? Do they have a TikTok? Do they have an Instagram? Are they doing things that will encourage the young people to not just get involved, but to see the history of that organization? They are not. And I'm not faulting the organization. That's just how stuff is. They've also become so successful over time that we don't need to lean on an organization like that for basic human rights. We don't need to. There was a time where we did, where we didn't have basic human rights and we needed all the organizations we could possibly get. Now we don't need them like we did in 1947. We don't need them to fight for basic rights, the basic right to vote, the basic right to be able to rent a house or get a mortgage. Federal law has come in, local law, state law has come in, Title IX, other things have come in to give us basic rights. Now, there's still things that we need to fight for, but if organizations that were rooted in the black struggle before we were even recognized as human beings, if they have not updated their output to deal with racism in the modern context, then the organization is not going to be what it was. And also it's a member organization. If the NAACP had a prominent role in pushing the next generation to fight for civil rights in the covert ways that racism exists, people would seek it out and would willingly give their money and sign up and pay their dues. But they're not. And it's not a strike against the organization, but it is an antiquated organization. Sometimes organizations can outlive their own usefulness, right? So like any nonprofit organization that serves, let's say, poor people, right? What if they help poor people so well that there's less poor people? Then that nonprofit that services poor people ultimately should be putting itself out of business. If an agency exists to help people get basic needs met, and to help people become successful. Once people become successful, the organization is either no longer needed or it needs to transition into the next phase of what success actually is. We can't just look at the black diaspora as poor, can't get a high school diploma because schools won't let us in, can't get a mortgage, can't get a job because they can say no blacks are going to be hired here. We can't operate like that is still the case. It is not. We have opportunity right now that people 100 years ago never even dreamed of. Never even dreamed of it. Yet we have organizations, especially some of the civil rights organizations, that are still treating black culture like it's still 1947. It's not. We have so many opportunities now. I think the biggest problem that we have as black folks is we don't even know all the opportunities that exist at our fingertips because there's so many. There's so many different choices that we have, so many different options. And now it's up to the individual a lot of time. If you want to pursue something, and I'll challenge anybody. If you're passionate about something and you want to pursue it, very little can stop you. White racism can't stop you. Discrimination can't stop you. Very little can stop you. Now, will there be some barriers and some hiccups? Of course. But we have a world right now at our fingertips that has provided us with so much opportunity that I don't think our parents and our grandparents even knew how to prepare us for the opportunities that we have right now that never existed for them. That's part of the problem. We have so much right now. It's just like older adults that didn't grow up with social media have a hard time trying to tell young people the importance of social media, right? Because when they were growing up, however many years or a generation or two ago, they didn't have all of the things that we have right now as far as connectedness. So they can't even instruct their children on how to use some of these opportunities that exist now that didn't exist 50 and 60 years ago. Let's talk to the caller. You're on 101.7 The Truth. How are you?
I'm excellent. How about you today, man?
I'm doing well.
Been enjoying this weather the last few days?
Indeed, I have.
So I've been listening to you for about 4 years, and 6 years prior to that, when Joy Reid was only on the weekends, I was viewing her on the Reid Report. Around that same time, I think Warren Ballantine was on the radio. So yes, I've been a supporter of Joy Reid for some time.
But were you still watching though? That's the question. So
yeah, oh yeah.
Okay, you still you have cable and you watch it. You watch a show.
I would say I watch Joy Reid about as much as I text your show. So that would be significant. But the conversation you and Linda just had kind of reminded me, and you're continuing about it, in the scene from the movie I'm Gonna Get You Sucker. When the brother who was a revolutionary talked about black people going downtown to march in whatever city they were in, and they were giving out government jobs, and the brothers wasn't mad anymore. And so if that's the case for some people, then you have what you have. But there are organizations that have sustained through the civil rights movement and that are uplifting to our community. And one example of that in our community is Beckham Stapleton Little League. And each year I contact you and inform you that it is recruitment time for young people who want to participate in something that Mr. Beckham gave his 60 years of his life to, that is an oasis in the middle of our community and still continues to be. And he's passed on to his granddaughter that generational human capital that he had and determination to keep his organization going. So hopefully within a week or two, I can give you a call about the particulars of young people signing up because many successful people who have moved on from our community and many who stay right here started learning teamwork, loyalty, and courage, which are Little League values. And my part in that is the recruitment effort. So that's where, I think the NAACP could, probably take a page out of Mr. Beckham's book.
He used to come on air with me every single year when they were doing their recruitment, and then guess what? They stopped. And so because they stopped, should I have, and I'm not, blaming you for this, but because they stopped, I think they also found that baseball is very niche in our community. So even if we did a huge campaign talking about the recruitment efforts and all the great things that Beckham Stapleton does for children, how it produces, productive adults, it's such a small number of parents that will, because the parents got to be committed to it as well. There's such a small number of parents that would be committed that it sometimes isn't worth it, because a lot of these younger black parents that are in their 20s and early 30s, they don't see the impact that baseball nor Beckham Stapleton could have on their children. That's what we're faced with.
Well,
now, they also could probably recruit on TikTok and on Instagram and be way more effective than sending people to talk radio.
Exactly. And I will pass that information along. I actually spoke to some people this weekend regarding changing the efforts, and that's to me, giving back to what has been given so much to me personally and many of my friends who I talk to who are alumni. We have an alumni organization, and I'm talking to those guys about changing the way that we do present this to kids who have, as you said, many more choices than we have.
The caller, how old are you?
Kids can play soccer.
How old are you?
I'm in my middle 50s.
All right.
So I played in Beckham Stapleton in the 80s and played in Milwaukee, Washington at the same time.
Could we admit that young people today have so many more options of things to do where they may not necessarily choose baseball? Some of them would rather play baseball on a PS5, quite honestly. But I see your point, and I appreciate your call right now. I got to take a break. You're listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 FM. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 101.7thetruth.com.
The Truth app is home for all the Milwaukee Panther content you would want.
He'll dart baseline, and he will tomahawk it home with his right hand.
From conversations on the airwaves.
We're going to defend every board up the floor and every bounce and every pass. And we've got good depth, and you have to have good depth for the way we play.
To game highlights.
At the top, rises for three over Young and buries it.
Find The Roar on the Truth app, Apple, Spotify, and wherever else you get your podcasts to keep up with Panthers hoops.
Are record energy costs putting a squeeze on your fixed or limited incomes? With limited incomes not keeping up with the lingering effects of inflation, you might be one of tens of thousands of Wisconsin residents who are struggling to survive in the blistering heat of summer or the bitter cold of winter. While you haven't asked for it, the Keep Wisconsin Warm Cool Fund and your local energy assistance providers are here to help. No Wisconsin resident should ever have to face the challenge of living without heat or power or face homelessness. For a hand up, apply today and call 1-800-506-5596. That's 800-506-5596. Or visit www.kwwf.org.
Life's better with American Family Insurance, because whether it's a family road trip in your dream car or hosting a family reunion in your dream home, we help you feel protected so you can enjoy those dreams with peace of mind. Save up to 23% when you bundle home and auto. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
People often wonder, what's the credit union difference? Well, let me tell you what's different about Educators Credit Union. We're more than just a financial institution. We're a team of people who are actively invested in the next generation and in the communities where you live and work. We're in classrooms teaching financial literacy, in neighborhoods building homes and relationships, and in local communities lending a helping hand. We believe when communities thrive, we all thrive. Educators Credit Union, achieving more together, insured by NCUA.
I'm attorney David Gruber. We've helped injured Wisconsinites for more than 30 years. Trust our hometown team to get you back in the game. Gruber Law Offices, proud partner of your Milwaukee Bucks. One call, that's all.
When you're high, you feel different. Pretty obvious, right? You think different, talk different, but if you feel different, you drive different. So if you're high, just don't drive. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 101.7thetruth.com.
award-winning 101.7 The Truth proudly celebrates excellence and the most monumental moments in our history. Tune in all month long as we celebrate the voices, stories, and achievements that have shaped history and inspired our future. 101.7 The Truth celebration of Black History Month is sponsored by Milwaukee College Prep, Educators Credit Union, the Freighter and Medical College of Wisconsin, and American Family Insurance. All right, it feels like we accomplished stuff today, but not really. We cry wolf a little bit too much. I think we complain about all the stuff that we don't have. And once we realize not just the work, but the time it takes to accomplish and to achieve all that we think that we don't have. And also, we are comparing ourselves to a system that is unfair. Because if you look at the group that's ahead of us, look at what they did to get ahead of us. They lied, they stole, they raped, they murdered. They were inhumane. So we probably will never be on par with them because we are not willing to do what they did to get the lead that they have. And the reason why I think they fear us so much is because they believe that we may do what they did to get the advantages that they have. Every now and again, you got to take an inventory of what we have right around us, what exists. This actually, even though it doesn't feel like it, this is heaven. We have every opportunity you could imagine. Are there barriers? Of course there are, but there isn't a person that's not going to face an obstacle. We as Black people just have an additional obstacle that may be the color of our skin and how someone may prejudge us because of it. But we have so much we can take advantage of. A lot of hard work and a lot of dedication. A lot of lives were dedicated and a lot of lives were lost to give us opportunities that we sometimes completely overlook. I am still baffled to this day why we would have an 11% voter turnout in any election. And we always tell each other, don't we? Oh, so many people fought and died for us to vote. And now what I'm starting to hear is, oh, Sherwin, I'm not going to vote because nothing is going to change. If that ain't counter and contrary to all of the legacy and dedication that makes up our history, I don't know what is. We take stuff for granted now. Anything that doesn't make us personally rich or famous is kind of a waste of time. It's not about community. It really is about the individual. People want their individual accomplishments to be celebrated. And I'm not taking that away from anybody, but those individual accomplishments that people want to be recognized for, we got to be clear about this, are anti-community. Or you'll get a group of people together and they'll organize and they're working toward a common goal. What'll happen? That group eventually will implode because one person is getting too big or one person in the organization thinks they're the leader and they're trying to tell everybody else what to do. The level of selfishness that can exist in our society where people want to be recognized for their goals only, their accomplishments only, is anti-community. You have to be willing to sacrifice a lot of who you are and sacrifice your time, and which you may personally may never see a benefit, but someone way in the future might. Thank you for listening. Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace is up next.
This is 101.7 The Truth's Kyle Wallace, and the time is now, Milwaukee. Truth to Power is your platform, and on my show, our community always has a voice.